Greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, Robert Meyer Burnett. I invite you to watch and listen to the Designing Hollywood podcast, brought to you by Martika Ibarra and the great, legendary Hollywood costume designer, Marilyn Vance. I am afforded the wonderful opportunity of co-hosting the show. If you are interested in the magic of Hollywood, the design of Hollywood, the clothes of Hollywood, watch the Designing Hollywood podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts from, or find the video version on YouTube. That's right, the Designing Hollywood podcast. Why would you ever want to miss it? Especially if you love the movies. Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your pharaoh of physical media. Let my streaming go. That's right, Robert Meyer Burnett, and this is Let's Get Physical Media. God forbid I ever sing that song again. As you can see, I'm got discs everywhere. Things are being rearranged. I'm always saying that, but there's going to be changes here in the next day or two. You'll see. Anyway, this is, of course, Let's Get Physical Media. We were gone last week. I was going to be here on Monday, but, they shut off our power. And they're shutting off our power tomorrow. They were scheduled power shutoffs. So 2 weeks in a row on Monday, which kind of sucked. So we couldn't do a Monday show. But that doesn't matter. Because heartness, absence makes the heart grow fonder. That's what I wanted to say. And you know who you're missing? Your favorite German, my favorite German, everybody's favorite German, all the way from Saarbrücken, Deutschland, Mr. Dieter Bastian. Dieter, how have you been these last 2 weeks?
Pretty busy, considering all the new stuff that has come out.
Bro.
Unfortunately, I have only watched one movie. And Rob, gladly, you already mentioned why we could do the show on Monday. This brings me already to a first quick letter from BPEP, and he says, "Hey guys, where's yesterday's Let's Get Physical Media stream? I missed it live and don't see it on the channel. Let's Get Physical Media is my favorite show of the week and really look forward to them. Appreciate all of your work, guys, from BPEP." So, like Rob said, we wanted to try to do a show on Monday since Rob was on at the San Diego ComicCon, but unfortunately he forgot some internet maintenance was going on. And I say, greetings, imagination connoisseurs, Dieter here, I'm Rock You Like Jürgen, and welcome to the B&B Motel for Let's Get Physical Media. Rob, you were at the San Diego Comic-Con. You were our eyes and ears there. Tell me about a little bit your impressions. Were there no movie stars attending this year, considering the strike?
You know, it was lovely. I mean, I didn't, normally I would stay down there all 5 days, but I had stuff I had to do, so I wasn't down there all 5 days. Plus, it's expensive to stay down there all 5 days. But I went back and forth. 2 hours, it's only a 2 hour drive to San Diego. It used to be like 3.5, but it was lovely. It felt like Comic-Con from 20 years ago, which was all about meeting people. Comic-Con, the fun part is, you see the celebrities, you go to the panels, but that's become a big pain in the ass. It used to be you could just kind of drift through whatever panels you want to see. You could listen to people talk for a couple minutes. Now, if you're not in the panels you want to see, they shut the door, and so it's much more of a hassle. This felt much more relaxed, and This was the first time, I would run into a lot of people stop me. I could walk about 5 feet without people stopping me and want to take pictures and talk about YouTube and all that. That was really exciting. I felt like it felt much more of a fan experience. And I really enjoyed that. I thought that it was quite fun. I really enjoyed the experience. I love seeing everybody. And it's still Comic-Con, hanging out at the Marriott. The weather was beautiful. It was hot as F, but it was beautiful. Yeah. And it was just a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the experience. It was really nice. And
it was Comic-Con for the YouTubers, Rob.
Well, what's really interesting, I mean, I've tried to explain to people that YouTube is kind of, and even this channel, my conception of this channel was when I first started, when Elizabeth bought me this microphone in 2018, I was always wondering, like, well, what am I getting? I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like, what was my YouTube identity going to be? Because I had been on Collider Heroes, and that's really all I was. And then I figured, well, what I wanted to do was make this channel kind of like an ongoing, an ongoing convention. Like that's really what I thought of this. And so YouTube has kind of become that. YouTube is it's like going to daily panels. And it's a lot of fun. And meeting other YouTubers, people from across the country, like Gotham Geek Girl and her boyfriend, that was a lot of fun. Running into legendary comic artists like J. Scott Campbell was fun. It's just, it was great. It was great. Chris Gore gave me a copy of his new Blu-ray, which I will show today.
Great. Nice.
It was a lot of fun. I really I enjoyed it immensely.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun, but yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
It's great.
And so we couldn't actually talk about the box office last week, even if it was very much the talk of the town, because if I had called you at the beginning of the year, Rob, you know what? Barbie will make more at the starting weekend as Indie does in 4 weeks. You will have called some people. Arkham Asylum, I have a new inmate for you. Come and pick him up right now. Insane. So what are the holds for the second weekend for these two movies, Rob?
Well, dude, let me just tell you. I will tell you where, our friend Nancy Tartaglione has the deets, the international deets.
Yeah.
Her headline this morning is Barbie pirouettes to a powerhouse 775 million global take. Insane. Oppenheimer is a phenom at 400 million worldwide. This, by all accounts, is insane.
Yeah.
And
totally.
and there's going to be a lot of people, there's going to be a lot of pundits talking about Barbenheimer, but I really want to say that from my opinion, this phenomenon, first of all, you did have to have movies that actually delivered. Ultimately, this was the internet creating a memeable moment. It was not a result of studio marketing. They had nothing to do with this. You had two films, diametrically opposed movies that the internet, that the zeitgeist, the public zeitgeist seized upon. These two unbelievably different kinds of movies and turned it into an event. This had nothing to do with studio marketing. It had to do with the cultural zeitgeist to create a cultural moment. That said, it's fantastic that people can still muster the enthusiasm about movies. I don't care why you had two movies, and by the way, both movies, to be honest, I have yet to see either one. I had 70mm tickets at my favorite theater in LA, at the Fox in the Village Theater in Westwood on Thursday, but I had a panel at ComicCon, so I had 6 tickets and we didn't go. So I'm waiting to see it in 70mm IMAX, and I haven't been able to get tickets yet. Sold out. Totally sold out. Yeah. And Barbie I just haven't got to. But, by all accounts, Barbie is not the woke fest that a lot of people think it is. When Ethan Van Sciver comes out and talks about Barbie being a good movie, you're like, wow, that's...
What the hell is happening, Rob?
Well, because I think Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach as a unit, as a couple, as filmmakers themselves, created something that was, I think, much different than people expected, a legitimate vision that people are definitely responding to, and people are going back. You've got whole generations of people, whole families are going. They've turned it. I mean, people are dressing up still in week 2. And then, of course, Oppenheimer, you have one of the world's best filmmakers working, Christopher Nolan, working on something that is very important to him personally and creating a great moment. But let's delve in. And also, we've watched these movies. I mean, there's going to be a lot written about how Indiana Jones failed, how Mission Impossible is really struggling. And, I think Mission Impossible deliver the goods, but looking back on it, it's probably my least favorite Mission Impossible movie, to be honest.
You and I, sir, park our shuttlecraft in the same shuttle bay.
Yep.
When it comes to
And I've been
that
going
movie.
through, and I'll tell you something. Having watched all the Mission Impossible movies, my 4K steelbooks, Mission Impossible 2, don't sleep on that movie. It's a lot. It's like a romance. It's basically Ethan Hunt trying to get a girl back from a bad guy. But I'm really enjoying. I'm really enjoying going through even J.J. Abrams' Mission Impossible, as much of a TV movie as it is, and Philip Seymour Hoffman's his demise is really stupid. The movie's better than I remember it being. So I don't like seeing so much time and effort not being rewarded. But still, what Barbenheimer is doing is amazing. So let's jump into this. 774.5 million global through Sunday. I mean, that's insanity. The offshore take from this week was 122 million in 69 markets, just 32% off opening weekend. The internationally, the movie has made 423.1 million. And domestic was 93 million this weekend for a running North American. In North America, domestically, 351.4 million. It's now the third biggest film of the year worldwide and the fourth biggest for international. The Barbies have already surpassed the lifetime grosses of Ant-Man and the Wasp, Wonder Woman, The Batman, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Kong Skull Island, Man of Steel, Maleficent Mistress of Evil, and Godzilla vs. Kong. In like-for-like markets and using today's exchange rates, the film is tracking on par with Frozen 2, 92% above Wonder Woman, 195% above Cinderella, and 213% ahead of The Little Mermaid. Oppenheimer has had an incredible hold overseas, dropping just 26% in 78 markets. Now, this is important because this means the movie's actually good. It's not just a memeable moment. It dropped 26% in 78 markets. That's an incredible hold. An incredible hold. It made 72.4 million, and it has 226 million internationally. And this puts the running total on the Christopher Nolan epic at $400 million. Oppenheimer is estimated to be the biggest Nolan film of all time in 28 markets, including India, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE, and Turkey. And it's the top non-Batman movie for Nolan in markets including Mexico, Brazil, Norway, and the Philippines. And in IMAX, it's now Nolan's second fastest ever movie to 80 million worldwide. 80 million in IMAX. And as Nolan has proven, he's really being behind the IMAX format and having a partnership with large screen theaters. Amazing. It's amazing. Universal has now crossed $2 billion at the international box office. And by the way, Warner Brothers is kicking themselves. David Zaslav's going, why did AT&T fuck over Christopher Nolan? I don't know what they're going to do to get him back, but Universal's like, happy days are here again. Na, 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 na. So, I mean, after the disappointment that was Fast 10, you go, Christopher Nolan. I mean, what's amazing for Christopher Nolan is this is the second time in this day and age, he's proven that audiences, for whatever reason, whether it's because it's part of a Barbenheimer meme or because people know he's making an important movie about something the fact that Dunkirk made $500 million and Oppenheimer made $500 million should prove to studios that when you have filmmakers, it's who knows what subject matter. I think this bodes very well for Killers of the Flower Moon with Leonardo DiCaprio, because it's not just about the Osage Indians and what happened there, but the movie's also about the beginnings of the FBI. So I think that everybody, Killers of the Flower Moon, Apple's probably stoked that they spent a lot of money on a historical epic coming in the wake of this movie. I think it only bodes well to show that audiences did not turn out for Indiana Jones. Audiences did not turn out for Mission Impossible for Ethan Hunt. They turned out for Barbie and Oppenheimer because they'd never seen them before. There is a message there, and this could be a one-off, but pretty good.
Rob, do we know where the Barbenheimer meme started? Actually, I have no idea when.
I don't know. I'm sure someone's gonna take credit for it. But all the different artwork people did, combining the
Yeah,
two.
great.
I mean, a studio marketing department. Obviously, it was two different studios, so it never would have happened.
Yeah.
But you can't pay for that kind of publicity,
No.
and so it just happened. And I think there's something to be said for that. I mean, it shows that. I mean, I'm not gonna say. Look, if you have independent filmmakers that are they have unique visions to show the public, could be, and maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it's going to allow independent filmmakers who can utilize the internet. A lot of people are now going to be looking, I think, for this kind of marketing, because you don't need studio marketing behind you. You don't have to have studios anymore telling you what to do. The paradigms are all being swept away, so it's pretty interesting. Now,
and I don't remember, Rob, for a long time, the first two movies in the box office making this much money. It's always the new one that comes out, but the second one is already lower tier. But this kind of money, the first two positions, can't remember.
No, it's insane. Now there was another movie that opened.
There were other movies opening.
So I'd like to say that the horror film Talk to Me, which a lot of people I'm hearing great buzz on, it will
come out, Rob, here in a 4K media book from Cape Light.
Oh, nice! It made $10 million this weekend. It's A24's second biggest debut since Hereditary, and I mean, first-time filmmakers Danny and Michael Filippo. These are guys that they got their filmmaking chops making shorts on YouTube.
Yeah.
Exactly. This is their first feature, so kudos to them. Ushering in. Let's hope that they're from down under.
But A24 bought the movie. They didn't produce it themselves. They just bought the movie when it was already set.
That's pretty true, but I don't know. To be honest, I guess so. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But
I would just assume that they bought it. Headline and Singer.
Yeah, they might have, and that good for them because A24 certainly they have great taste. They have the Academy Award win this year. Don't sleep on A24. They're the new Miramax, probably better than Miramax. But let's find out. It was, this isn't okay. It's the distributor's biggest opening weekend since 2018's Hereditary from Ari Aster, who gave a big shout out to Talk to Me at Sundance, where it premiered.
Right.
And A24 bought it up in a bidding war. So Hereditary opened at $13.6 million on 2,900 screens. It's arguably rather rare for indie films to cross $10 million in a weekend, especially post-pandemic, marking another breakout for a distributor with a uniquely strong brand and fan base. And again, here's filmmakers that truly represent the next generation, filmmakers that began on YouTube, honing their craft, were able to use that. Obviously, proof is in the pudding. They had the talent, and they made a film, jumping in, again, following up on movies like Barbarian. There's another horror movie that came out that was kind of dumped called Cobweb. That was another Roy Lee production that I actually heard pretty good things about.
Yeah.
I heard that the studio wanted to do some reshoots, but they didn't want to put any money into it. So I was kind of sad that Cobweb, because there was some really good notices for Cobweb. I heard from the horror community, so it's great to see this movie do well, which is really, really exciting. And again, I love seeing stuff like this happen.
Totally.
And then, of course, we still have Sound of Freedom is still making a lot of money. Who would have thought? Take the politics out of it. Take what you think about Jim Caviezel's politics out of it. The movie has also become sort of a memeable moment. And however, if people are buying tickets, what doesn't matter. It's made over $100 million. I mean,
here it will get now more released internationally.
Yeah, which I believe it has yet to do. So, and also something else happened. The Barbie soundtrack made history in the UK singles chart. 6 tracks from the soundtrack are in the top 40. What I Was Made For by Billie Eilish is number 3. Dance the Night Away by Dua Lipa, number 4. Barbie World by Nicki Minaj and Ice Spice is number 5. Speed Drive by Charlie XCX, or is that the Roman numeral? Would that be, what is that? I don't even know what that Roman numeral, but 150? I'm Just Ken by Ryan Gosling is number 25. And Lizzo's Pink is number 39. So that's insane, too. So, hey, you know what? What looked to be a summer of disappointment has now become a summer of excitement on a number of different levels. So, hey, good for the box office, which means it's good for physical media later.
Exactly, Rob. Exactly. And, Rob, I saw, of course, Oppenheimer 2. And I will now take my boat, Rob, drive to my lonely island, because I was not a fan of Oppenheimer, Rob.
Well, it's not trashy enough?
It is. We always talk about the subjectivity of movies and objectivity. The craft of movie making is on full display. No question about it. Considering the acting, the sound mix, the makeup, there's nothing to critique here. But for me, the most important thing that I was interested in building the atomic bomb was almost like a side plot in the movie, because I felt the main focus was on Louis Strauss' beef with Oppenheimer and him trying to take him down. Is he a communist? Will he get his security clearance? The movie for me, Rob, was strenuous to get through. You know, it felt like a movie. If you didn't make your homework, you're lost already. And at the moment after the Trinity test, Rob, I completely checked out because I had no interest. Is he a commie?
Too much talking for you, not enough exploitation?
Exactly, Rob, exactly. But the movie just demands your attention, and with a 3-hour running time, it was just a tough watch. And Rob, the Trinity test itself, well, it's just like a barbecue in your backyard, you know, at a Saturday evening, you know, Rob. It was a little bit lackluster. I tell it right now, Rob. And Thomas Logan will hate me now. Rob, why is this movie shot in IMAX?
Why not?
What will you? It's okay. Why not, Rob? I saw it, of course, cropped 2:35:1, Rob. But it is not a situation that we both hate, considering Endgame. You will not have heads cut off. The heads are always shown completely. There's no cuts of the heads. So the 2:35 for me worked perfectly fine for the movie. And it's just people talking. So it is a movie that you will love, Rob. It's just people talking in offices, in universities, you know. And I thought, okay, Oppenheimer is getting interviewed here. Oh yeah, I really need to see the ceiling of that room here. That will give me a totally new perspective of the movie if I can see the ceiling here of the room. Yeah, in IMAX I can see the ceiling, but I can't see where Nolan perhaps was coming from. When I imagine a mushroom cloud, it is a 4:3 more image than a wide image. But Rob, for me personally, the movie, if you love the movie, you will love it in the 2:35:1 version, just as you will love it in IMAX. But for me, getting more at the top or bottom for this kind of movie, where you have 95% people talking in mostly normal rooms, and it's not, Rob, that you would have like great locations like in John Wick, where you have those cathedrals with thousands of candles.
But remember, dude, you know, human faces look, when you're shooting in IMAX, especially on film, he's shooting on film. Yeah, you know, even when you're changing the aspect ratio, if you're going to go to 2:35 or whatever, you still get much more detail, especially he wants to show people's faces. You know, there's a universe on a face. Remember that. Yeah.
But I don't think...
Don't be one of those people.
Why should he shoot in 70 millimeter?
Don't be
But
that
I don't
guy.
think your judgment of the movie will change, no matter. If you love the movie, you will already love it in 2:35:1.
Well, I want to see it.
If you want to see it in IMAX, wait, but you can see it totally, for me, in the normal aspect ratio, and you will like it nonetheless. But for me, of course, I will buy the movie considering the sound design. But for me, a replay value, considering Oppenheimer, not really there.
You're the trash
Not for me.
panda. I would expect nothing less.
Nothing
okay.
less, Rob. 5 out of 10. That is Oppenheimer for me.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
But it's always possible that I can change my mind with a second view. That's always possible, especially with Nolan. But for me, Rob, the building of the atom bomb and all that stuff was almost like a side plot for me. The focus was more on Strauss and his beef with Oppenheimer. I couldn't care less about that, Rob, unfortunately. That's my take, Rob. That's my take. I know it's a hard
You don't
take.
even mention Florence Pugh naked in IMAX?
I haven't seen it in IMAX, Rob.
Okay, well,
I
in
haven't seen it
2.3
in
widescreen,
But she was naked in 235 to 1.2, Rob. So,
you don't even mention that?
I only can mention it, Rob. I heard some censorship has happened I think in India.
Yeah, they added like instead of being nude in a chair, she's wearing a dress. Like, what is wrong with people? I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't get it. But
Rob,
anyway,
I don't need to mention it. The movie is ages at 12 and up here. So no R rating here. So why do I need to mention that?
okay, enough of this theatrical bullshit. We're here to talk about physical media, and you know what we need to talk about? You know what we need to talk about?
Exactly.
Which I have yet to talk
Finally.
about. First of all, let me just say that this episode is once again unofficially brought to you by both Warner Archive and quickly becoming one of my beloved countries in the United States, Kino Lorber. And you know what I haven't talked about? You know what I haven't gotten to wax rhapsodic about? Do you know?
Day is finally here.
I never thought this day would come. It's over a year late.
Look at you.
I can't tell you.
Are you happy with the transfer, Rob? Are you happy with the transfer? That's what we want to know. Is
Dude,
it okay? Yeah.
This orgasm inducing. I felt like I was 12 years old flipping cable channels to try and get a glimpse of boobs. That's how exciting it was. In all honesty, this transfer is stunning. This movie has always looked kind of crappy, to be honest, on home video. I've owned it on VHS. I've owned it on Laserdisc. I've owned it on DVD. I've owned it on Blu-ray. Many copies on Blu-ray, as a matter of fact. This HDR transfer, now this was only made for $6 million. This is a fairly low-budget movie. It came out November 1st, 1985. I was there. I was at the King Cinema in Seattle, across the street from the UA-150 before the fuckers blew it up. This looks incredible. The 5.1 soundtrack sounds great. I mean, I wish it had more bass, but it's never had a lot of bass. That was the original sound mix. A lot of great separation. This transfer, thank you, Kino Lorber. It was worth the wait. I know you had to wait for William Friedkin to finish making the Caine Mutiny Court Martial. I get it. I understand, which, by the way, is going to premiere at Venice. I'm just saying that all the special features ported over except for a photo gallery, which I don't care about. This is a great disc. If you've never seen the movie, it's a stunning disc. The movie's never looked as good, and I was crying as I was watching it to finally have this. I know 200 Watt Studios going yawn, but look, this movie's lost none of its power. I can't thank Kino Lorber enough. I mean, I don't want to belabor the point, but I'm belaboring the point because this disc is exactly what I wanted. And I've watched this actually twice. Yeah, nice. Bro. With all the other things I could be watching, I watch it twice. You know why? Because it's fucking To Live and Die in LA, and I own it on 4K. Hooray for me.
Continue, Rob, with your whole a little bit.
It lived up to the hype. Well, Dieter, you got me this.
Yeah.
This actually is one of the great 4K packages of all time. This box, of course, Sylvia Crystal. This is the Gone with the Wind of 70s softcore bush porn. Just jacking. And this comes with movie posters. I mean, this is one great box set. But it's lonely. You notice
Yeah.
something? You notice something about this box,
A
Dieter?
sidekick.
Do you notice something about this box? It's white. Emmanuel's so white. Emmanuel's so white. Well, that
This is his
changed.
companion piece. A
That
companion piece.
changed. That changed this week. God bless Severin Films, because look what came. The sensual world of Black Emmanuel.
Nice.
Now, we joked about this, but there are 24 feature films in this box set.
Holy moly.
And not only that, even on this cover, it's got like a ViewMaster reel you can spin and have. I can't get too close because there's boobs
Cool
there and
idea.
I'll get censored. But I mean, Severin Films went all out. Now there was even an article in Variety about this box set this week. Yeah. And I have to say that, first of all, one of the very cool things about this box set, not just that you have 24. Now, the Black Emmanuel movies are not just bush porn. There's exploitation, there's violence, there's cannibals, there's lesbian sex, there's anything you want. You can find something to like for all tastes in this box set. But I do have to point out that Laura Gemser is not, Black Emmanuel is not actually black. She's Indonesian. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But what's really cool about this set is not just the movies. It comes with an incredible book, The Black Emmanuel Bible, which I'm sure on a Sunday, like we're talking about. I mean, this is a very extensive book. And what's really cool about this book, it's actually a tie-in. Do you remember the box set of The House of Psychotic Women?
Yeah.
And this great companion book, The House of Psychotic Women. So this book it's by Kirla Janice, and it's got some on the back here. And this book, Kirla Janice, the author of this book and the curator of those 4 films, she edited this book, the Black Emmanuel Bible. So this is a really interesting. I've read about half of it already. Really interesting book on these films. So you'll get a much bigger appreciation of the whole. And also this just delves into the entire exploitation cinema. Joe D'Amato directed some of these. I mean, I can't show you the cover. But, again, I can't really even show you a lot of these. But anyway, it's a great set. It's a great set. Nice. A lot of great filmmakers represented. Once again, Severin Films doing the Lord's work. And I can't wait to display these together. To be honest, how often am I going to watch these? I mean, and to be honest, do I want to watch these in mixed company? I don't know. But I have it. I have the sensual world.
For your Saturday evening, with Elizabeth's parents.
Yeah, they'll never know that I have these movies. And that's the way to do it. Now, I do have to say, though, and I've got to find out where I put them. Yeah. They were not the only movies that I got from Severin. I also got 2 movies I'd been wanting to get from them. The New Zealand revenge horror shocker, Death Warmed Up. Okay. Pick this up. I like this movie. It's a cheesy horror film, admittedly. Yeah. And then I also got the Turkish horror film Bastian that I meant to get. Ooh. Now, if you haven't seen this movie, this is sort of this film. It was made in a Muslim country, predominantly Muslim country, Turkey. It is if you haven't seen this horror movie, this is actually a very surprising horror movie. It's about a bunch of racist cops in Turkey that get called to a house where they're going to make a drug bust. And like all interesting horror films, the house may or may not be a gateway to hell. And I'm not going to... if you haven't seen this was a movie... I'd never heard of this movie till the late, great John Schnepp came into Collider Heroes one day, and he's like, dude, I just watched this insane movie on Netflix. It's called Bastian. And I go, what's it about? He's like, I'm not going to tell you what it's about. You just got to watch it. And I was like, really? Okay. So of course I ran home that night and I'm watching this movie and I'm like, wow. Maybe it's still on Netflix. I don't know. But now I have the physical media, again, from Severin Films. Comes with a slipcase, just like Death
This is
Warmed
not
Up
a UK
does.
one, Rob, but I thought the rating logo looked UK to me.
It is.
On
The rating logo is UK. It does come from Severin. Maybe this is not a domestic release because the rating logo is a UK logo. That could very well be. And on the front too, it's got the wait, there, but
18.
you see, 18, and so very well could. Hey, what can I say? So, thank you, Severin. You know what else I got in that along those lines? Talk about box sets. I finally got this. I finally got the Arrow Video Full Moon Video Store box set, which I had been meaning to pick up, and to be honest, I didn't mean to pick it up. I'd forgotten I'd ordered this. To be honest.
That happens, Rob. That happens.
And this box shows up, and I'm like, oh. And of course, what's cool about this is it's Empire movies. But, Robot Jock's really great artwork. And all of these discs are chock full. I won't open them all, but they've all got postcards and posters. And they've got, it's really cool because they have the reversible covers, but they've also got this very cool artwork. I mean, this is great stuff. And, I know Gary Graham. I had to get Robot Jock's. Stuart Gordon. It has 2 Stuart Gordon movies in it. Obviously, Dolls. And I went for the reversible covers. It's got the Dungeon Master. Again, great artwork. These are just fun to have. Cellar Dweller. And, of course, Arena. And all these are worth... I mean, look, these are all B movies. I do really like Dolls. I actually saw Dolls at the Seattle International Film Festival with Stuart Gordon. And again, Arrow does a fine job. And, their Empire of Screams set. So it's very much worth picking up. Nice packaging. The transfers, I watched Dolls, looks fantastic. I used to own...
That's always good to know.
Yeah, I had Dolls on... I had an image Laserdisc of it, and it was good. And so, this is just a cool, fun set to have. It's fun to display. But yeah, so I got that. And then something really interesting happened. So this is crazy. So I was getting a box, and so coming from DHL from overseas, and I wasn't sure what was in it because I've been waiting. I made an order from Amazon UK, and they used Ascendia, and it had my Contempt, Godard's Contempt. It had my 1 of 2000, the Hard Target box set. Disappeared. This is the second time Amazon UK has used Ascendia, and my discs just never showed up. There's no tracking information. It shows that it was never even mailed. So I'm like, why use Ascendia at all? Fuck you, Ascendia. You've now lost 2 packages of mine, and that Hard Target disc.
I don't even know that service, Rob.
It's Swedish. And I don't think it's even real. They just Rob Burnett ordered something. Once a year we're gonna fuck him. So we're going to send his disc order, 3 discs. That Hard Target set, 1 of 2000, gone. I'm never going to get mine now. Where's my Godard's Contempt? I hope I can still get it in 4K. Great movie. So fuck you. Fuck you. So anyway, I was getting this box, and I was thinking maybe they've resent this package, this disappeared package, because it's coming from the UK, but no. So it shows up, this kid... Nice kid, DHL driver, and I'm telling him that the software I'm watching him, because we had people doing work in the yard, so there's a truck there, so I thought I'd walk down so he doesn't have to figure out where to go. And I start talking to this kid, and we're talking, and I go, hey, you know what you brought me from the UK? And he's like, no. And I opened up the box, because I figured as I spoke to him, I knew what it was.
Oh, nice. Wait, Rob.
4K, buddy. I haven't even opened this yet.
Oh, it's heavy, Rob. It's heavy.
It is, dude. Now you got the
got
yellow
the
cover.
yellow
I got the red. I don't know what the difference is. The yellow one's more limited, right?
The insides are actually, I think, different cover artworks too.
Well,
So-
let's open up and find out.
Yeah. So you got the outer paper here,
Yeah.
and then this is the back of the yellow one.
Hang on.
And as far as I know, the cover artwork on the discs are different too.
Okay, here's
Nice.
that's cover, and here's the back.
So
And
let us delve into the inside of it.
wow, dude, this is awesome.
Yeah. So this is how the yellow covers look from the Big Boss, which they actually found a Mandarin cut of the movie.
Look at that.
This looks great too, Rob.
Yeah.
The Mandarin cut is 10 minutes longer. Unfortunately, still the saw and the head scene is still missing.
Wow, this artwork is now what so that's what is
Fist
that
of
now?
Fury.
So there's two cuts. Wait, there's two cuts of the Big Boss.
Yeah, of the Big Boss.
Here's what
Mandarin cut is extended.
here's the Mandarin cut.
Nice.
That's cool. And let me see. Okay, hang on. Let's do this
comes
together.
Fist
Here's
of Fury.
here's our Fists of Fury.
They are nice too.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Fist of Fury. Then comes, of course,
Way of the Dragon.
the Way of the Dragon. Yeah, with Chuck. Don't forget, Rob. It's in Italy, the Colosseum in Rome. You know.
Yeah. And then, of course,
this is just not a 4K. This is just the Blu-ray of Enter the Dragon.
So
because
that's
the
the
4K
same.
will get, of course, the Warner Home video release. So this is just a Blu-ray release of this title. And then we get different versions of the movie he is barely in, Game of Death. Nice one.
Mm.
So there are different versions of the movie, or just
and here's the
alternate
alternate
versions.
version. There's the alternate
Yeah.
version.
Exactly. The next one is Game of Death, the final Game of Death. Then we have the Game of Death, Tower of Death. So perhaps just the scenes with Bruce.
Yeah.
And then we have Rob, the Man, the Legend, the Man and the Legend. Nice, I love the different novels.
I
And
know
then we
this-
have this huge book. Rob.
This huge book.
Yeah,
Now, what is your? Oh, yeah. I think these are the same.
these are the same. Yeah.
This is a hardcover book, man. This book
Yeah.
is really heavy. I mean, this is a heavy book. Heavy book.
Exactly. This is what makes the box set in general very
It's very heavy.
Then further back we have poster.
There's a poster.
I put the poster out, Rob. Probably the same in your package.
Yeah.
And the Way of the Dragon on the other side. Then we have that red.
Yeah. This is.
Envelope.
There's this.
Where stuff's in. Yeah.
Bruce Lee is dynamite.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
And just see what is in there. There are, I believe, a lot of lobby cards in it,
Yeah.
in this set.
So when I showed this,
Yeah.
my DHL driver, his name is Malcolm. His name is Malcolm, and he goes, "Oh my God, I think it was his grandfather. I think his grandfather was in. His grandfather, his name is Marzell, and his grandfather's actually in one of these movies. So the DHL driver,
kidding.
Malcolm, no, he freaked out when not freaked out. He was like laughing. He's like, my uncle Marzell was in a Bruce Lee movie. And so there's my fun story about, my UPS driver. He's also got a Twitch. He's a Twitch streamer. So
Yeah.
here's to you, man. Here's to you, Malcolm, and to your grandfather.
Rob, don't keep those drivers from delivering the packages.
Marzell. I know. What can I say? This is a great box, man. Great box set.
Totally.
I'm glad I have it. It blows away the Criterion box.
Yeah, even if I have to say, the Blu-ray releases, the last Blu-ray releases were already.
But this
really
is
nice,
this
nice
does have Enter the Dragon in 4K in it,
No,
doesn't it?
no.
It
Enter
is.
the Dragon comes from Warner, Rob, separately.
Isn't the 4K in here though?
No, that's just a Blu-ray. Enter the Dragon is just a Blu-ray in it. Because it will come out from Warner, the separate set.
Separate. I didn't know if it was.
Probably they didn't get the license to do a 4K.
But they have everything else. I mean, this is the 4K box set.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
See, I'm not paying attention. That's why I need you, Dieter.
Yeah. They would have probably, but couldn't get the license to do the 4K. That will come from Warner themselves.
So, you know what? I'm going to get the Warner and put it in here. How about that?
Yeah. And
stick it in here.
But even remember, Rob, in the HD DVD days, considering Enter the Dragon, how I was amazed how that movie looks, in HD.
Oh, yeah.
Wow! Holy moly!
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it.
Totally.
And this was probably not even a new transfer of the movie, just a movie in HD. And then Rob has it in its back too. We have not lobby cuts, but really shiny photographs.
Okay. Yes. We got a tip in from Brent, who's asking about something that I have teed up to go over, but you can show those here. I'll go full frame. You show those, and I will tee that up.
This was actually the piece de resistance, Rob, that I wanted to show at the final stages of our show, Rob.
Oh,
God damn it, Rob. God damn it.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I screwed it up for everybody.
But for people always complaining, they're waiting too long for physical media. Here we're starting with the big one.
We're dropping the big one first.
Yeah. And gladly we could show both versions of it.
Yeah. No, I mean, totally.
The discs are the same, but just the cover artwork is a little bit different for the both movies.
Yes. Yes, so, indeed.
I hope I put it back together the right way. And don't get me started, Rob, about the German titlings of the movie. They are not the same. So,
well,
let's take some work here.
Well, I will let me jump into the news that our friend Brent, who sends a tip in, was asking about.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that. Let's do that. So, big news coming out that affects physical media.
Yeah.
And this comes to us from Media Play News. Disney reportedly exiting the Australian packaged media market. And our friend Brent sends in a tip about this. And again, if you want to send a tip in and talk to us live right now, you can do that in the description down below. It says how you can do that. Brent says, not sure if you've covered this, Rob, but in Australia, Disney will stop physical media after Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3. Hugely disappointing for me and worrying. Wonder if you think this will start in the U.S. as well. Cheers. So, Media Play News has this. They published it on the 28th. It's by Eric Grunwedel. Disney reportedly exiting the Australian packaged media market. Walt Disney Studios Home Entertainment is reportedly exiting the DVD and Blu-ray disc market in Australia, following similar moves in Asia and Latin America. That's amazing. As parent, Disney focuses on digital retail channels and Disney Plus streaming platform for distribution of original movies across its brands, including Marvel Studios, Lucasfilm, and Pixar. Following online chatter regarding the move, Bill Hunt, our friend Bill Hunt, editor of the Digital Bits, said he confirmed the exit following discussions with multiple sources. Hunt reports that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will be Disney's last packaged media release in Australia this year. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, folks, but there it is, he wrote in a July 25th blog post. A Disney representative was not immediately available for comment. The disc format has been on a steady decline with the rise in transactional VOD streaming. VOD and streaming sales of discs in the United States dropped nearly 27% in the first quarter that ended on March 31st to 377 million from 515 million. That is hugely worrying because we've always had more than $1 billion in sales at least, but this is a massive drop. Hopefully it'll at least eke over $1 billion. And I guess that's it. So that's what Bill Hunt said. And there we go. Again, Dietz, you know,
it is not, Rob, the same situation in Germany. In Germany, the Disney titles will getting distributed from another company coming October, but this is completely final. So this is not a change to another distributor, as I understand it.
No, I mean, it's done. I mean, Look, I pre-ordered Guardians of the Galaxy from Japan so I could get the 3D disc, you know? Again, we've been saying this before, physical media is dying. And it's unfortunate because, you know, Australia has two great, you have Imprint and you have Umbrella. And, like, you know, I'm still trying to find the Umbrella, their Martyrs, their box set of Martyrs. I think they did 500 of them or something. That's a tough one to get. No one who has it wants to part with it. But if anyone out there has one, think about the Bobster here. I'd love to get that Martyr set. But, yeah, I mean, we're seeing the death of physical media. And what's even more worrying to me is there's so much physical media from Disney. Where's the Fox library? You know, where's Patton? Where's Planet of the Apes, the whole series in 4K? There's so many Fox titles that haven't been put out. They've done nothing with the Fox library. And I want those. Look, right now, physical media is still better than streaming. There's less compression. As pipelines get bigger and more people have fiber and all that, I mean, obviously, but the real danger is that corporations and corporate thinking, they're not going to put out, unless something has a certain threshold in terms of how many people are watching it, why spend the money? And, you know, we're seeing the kind of thinking that Wall Street and all these businesses have. I mean, this idea that until our civilization has a fundamental shift away from the fact that everything has to make money. You know, cultures like France that still support art for art's sake, they'll put government money into arts programs and things like that, because ultimately, what is human life about? If we're not experiencing art in all of its myriad forms, are we just supposed to make money for companies? Is that all we're going to be? And if that is all we're going to be, well, that's kind of a sad state of affairs. I mean, human beings are also here to reflect, to ruminate on existence. The universe is indifferent. The only people that are here that are capable of acknowledging all of creation in our various art forms are human beings. And if suddenly all of our artwork is commodified, you know, you can't. What is the value of art to the human spirit? I know that sounds highfalutin or ridiculous, but people got to eat, Rob. Yeah, I understand that. But if we just want to exist, well, that's one thing. But if we want to live, what does it mean to live? What is a human life worth? What is all of our artistic endeavors worth? And, you know, if Disney's not going to preserve them for us, it's really unfortunate. And I understand because everybody's driving themselves off cliffs. Everyone's always chasing the big bucks. Let's always hit a home run. How about get on base, man? How about cultivate your business? How about get out physical media, or at least license it out? I mean, my God, Rain Man comes from MVD. I mean, that's a MGM title, but I'm surprised that MVD got it away from Kino Lorber. Kino Lorber's been putting out all this great MGM stuff, much, I'm sure, to Criterion's chagrin. I don't know how Kino Lorber stays in business, but God bless him. Love you guys.
Certainly.
By the way, I also want to give a shout out to Matt at Kino Lorber for making a Robservations Possible. If you guys haven't heard it, I'm really proud of this one. Only in Theaters, the documentary that Raphael Sbarge, the actor, made about Greg Laemmle and the Laemmle family, the famous Laemmle family. Part of the Laemmle family founded Universal Studios, but it was all about the theatrical experience. 2 Fridays ago, I thought I did a great interview with the two of them about their movie Only in Theaters that Kino Lorber put out. You can buy that if you want on DVD. It's not out on any other format, but it's a wonderful documentary, and I highly recommend it. So
nice.
There you go.
Nice. Yeah. Really, really sad to see that. Is this what Papa Iger was meaning? We will look into physical media, Rob. Shutting Australia down. Is that
well,
what he meant?
Look, I understand they're trying to push their streaming business, but I think both. The fact is, look, we've talked about, even on this show, since we've been broadcasting, and we're into year 3 of this show, since we've been broadcasting, they're saying 27%, 30%. I mean, disc sales are down 30%. That's what we've been seeing, and it's going to be a smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller pie. So God bless Second Sight, God bless Kino Lorber, God bless all of our favorites, whether it's Arrow, which we'll talk about later, because Arrow put out that Bruce Lee set. If you've got companies that are still able to license out, I mean, I don't know how much that Bruce Lee set cost Arrow to make. 2 different sets with different artwork, but I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing that they're doing it, and hopefully we'll get as much as we can out. Because, to be honest, there's key titles that are missing in my 4K collection, but between Blu-ray, the HD Renaissance, and home video, there's very few movies left. I mean, there's a lot of exploitation stuff and low-budget horror and sci-fi that I'd love to get, but there's more and more stuff being released every day by these boutique companies, and as long as they're allowed to do it, I'll get what I want before I shuffle off this mortal coil.
The only thing that was nice to read on the digital bits was there is some talk about Prey would be getting
Prey
a physical
apparently
release.
Prey is going to get a physical release. The Predator film.
Finally.
Yeah, I mean, and it should. Those movies should get a physical release. That was a great movie.
Totally.
And so I am very sorry to say that from our, for Brent, who sent in a tip. So I'm sorry to say, first of all, thank you for the tip, but I'm sorry to say that that's where we're at.
Yeah. Go over to the Super Chats room then, from the tip.
Okay, I'll go to Super Chats. Let's see what we got here. I'll see, so let me start at the top. Adrian Riley is a new member of the channel. Thanks, Adrian Riley. Guy Newbie says, I just pre-ordered the Deluxe Exorcist 4 box set. Only 2,000 made. It's gorgeous. Jump on it quick. It's already sold out here in the UK. Okay, Guy, let's talk about this. Yeah, I went to Amazon UK. So for those of you, this is The Exorcist finally coming out in 4K. I tried to jump on this. It's sold out. I'm trying to get it elsewhere. If anybody has a line on this and can get it for me, I want it. This comes
there
with
are very, very different variation. There is a deluxe edition, then there is an ultimate edition. There are 2 different sets available in the UK from The Exorcist.
Yeah,
one is
I
called
want
the deluxe. One is the ultimate. It's a little bit confusing.
Yeah, I want the deluxe.
Version.
I want this one. I want the BFI one. Look at that. Come on, man.
Okay.
I need that. I need that on my shelf
Yeah.
to replace all my other Exorcist titles. So if anybody can hook me up, maybe the lovely Emma Bannon can. I don't know. I didn't even know this was out. I went to get it, already unavailable. God damn it, as you would say.
Keep your eyes open, Rob, when the release date is getting nearer. There's always a chance.
Since we're talking about this, they announced this. I mean, this is one of my most eagerly awaited titles in 4K. So apparently there's a steelbook. Here's the steelbook. Look, I've got to move you over. I forgot that you're in the background there. There's the steelbook, and then I thought Warner Brothers was doing better. But what the fuck is this? What is this? I mean, I get it. Pea soup coming out of her mouth. Ugh, I get this, but come on, man. This is a highbrow title. Warner Brothers, you were doing so well with your covers, and then we get this. Who looks at this and goes, yes, that's what I want to do? I mean, the steelbook is kind of cool because it's like artwork. I like this, but come on, man. This is like...
Aren't there both versions available, Rob? it's confusing considering the sets. What is in it? What is the cover of the steelbook?
Well, it's both versions of the movie. You know, it's the version you've never before seen with
You're right.
the William Peter Blatty ending, and it's got the spider walk, which I hate because the spider walk destroys verisimilitude. It's my favorite horror film of all time. Look, man, what I want is this. This makes me salivate. Get me this. I went to order it. Why are they making only 2,000? And you know what? I bet if I ordered it from fucking Amazon UK, they would have sent it via Sendia and it would have disappeared and I never would have got it. I got to make sure.
Speaking of Sendia, Rob, I just glanced at the live chat and Stubble McShave will not let that slide, Rob. He said it's not a Swedish company, it's a Swiss-French company.
Oh.
So the mistake would be on our part, not from the High North.
Oh,
would not
okay.
let
So
that slide,
it's a Swiss-French company.
Swiss
All right, I'm sorry. I apologize to Sweden and all of our Swedish audience members and the entire Swedish government. I'm very sorry. And thank you for giving me Swedish erotica in the 80s. Seika.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I am sorry to all of Sweden and to Stubble, to everybody. But yeah, what the fuck, man? Where's my stuff?
The standard edition of The Exorcist does not come with the standard cover artwork.
I guess not in America. We don't get the iconic Father Marin standing outside one of my favorite. Come on, man. So Guy Newby, he said, jump on it quick. Cheaper edition has already been sold out here in the UK. I don't want the cheaper edition. I want the deluxe. I know it's already sold out. Fucking, I'm gonna have to call people higher up and see what I can do. CT603 became a new member of the channel. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. Captivated by Lexi is a new member. Who is Lexi?
Hey.
And who is Lexi that captivating? Guy Newby goes on to say, I'm amazed the U.S. is only getting a bare-bones Exorcist release. The U.K. has done well. Any ideas why Warner Brothers has done that? Okay, I can tell you. I have been told by certain people at Warner Brothers that the UK division of Warner Brothers is, let's call them more erudite group of people. Like, they're the kind of people that don't want to put MGM movies in the Warner Brothers packages for their 100th anniversary. Just saying. So it doesn't surprise me that when you have people like Mark Kermode and you've got the BFI book and again, Americans, you know what? When I was buying vinyl in the 80s, I never bought American vinyl. I bought UK vinyl and Japanese vinyl because American vinyl sucked. And again, how do you get people? I'm sure somebody at Warner Brothers like, oh, The Exorcist is 50 years old. It's an old movie. Like, who cares? Baby. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. That's a Singing in the Rain reference for you. But I hate it because Americans suck. We don't care about anything. It's terrible. No, I love my country. We shouldn't put it down. Shouldn't dislike your country. America's done a lot for the world despite, things we have done that maybe aren't so good. But you know what Americans are doing that isn't so good? We're not getting this. Why aren't we getting this? Give it to me. I want it. I mean, Warner Brothers in the UK, look at what they're making possible, bro. Come on. Look at that big box. It looks like a Bible. Yeah. How can you not want that? What do I have to do? Pissed. We don't get fuck all in this country. Everybody releases things better overseas because they care. The French care. The Czechoslovakians care. That Terminator set you have. We don't care.
In French, there will be an extra edition out too, but it will be probably the Ultimate Edition then. So exactly the same as in the UK. Yeah,
look at all the people in the chat. I caught it. I got my pre-order in. Yeah, good for you, Vodio Do. So yeah, Guy, I can't believe we got. I mean, it's our movie. It's Billy Friedkin's movie.
Yeah.
Adrian Riley just sent in a super chat. Thanks, Adrian. Garfield's Bizarre Adventure says Indy 5 failed because Lucasfilm has alienated a large chunk of the core demographic. Barbie doubled down on their core demographic and is rewarded. I agree. Barbie doubled down their core demographic, meaning what? Girls? Women, mothers. Yeah, they did. They doubled down, which is great. 200 Watt Studio. Oh, look at he's very conciliatory. He says, "Congrats, Rob. on getting to live and die in L.A.
Ooh.
Now I want to see you have it. That's very nice of you to say, dude. You're going to like it even more. Tom Jr. Jackson, our own moderator, says it cost one United States Air Force Colonel Steve Austin to make To Live and Die in L.A. If you know what I mean, Rob. It cost... Did it? I don't know what you mean. Steve Austin, we can rebuild him. I don't know what that means. Even I don't know.
No idea.
Thomas Logan said, I canceled Disney Plus out of protest. Our Aussie brothers and sisters don't deserve this garbage. Disney keeps making idiotic decisions I won't support. Yeah, I mean, judging by their stock price, neither will their stockholders. It's really weird. I don't know what they're doing. But here's the thing. On one hand, it comes down to, unfortunately, sales figures. I mean, Disney's not our friends. Disney's a business. And if they can't justify, if they're not selling physical media in Australia, you can't blame Disney for not selling physical media in a place where people aren't buying it. It's not profitable enough. And when you look at the sales figures, I mean, it could very well be with the numbers that we saw at the beginning of the year, depending on what comes out toward the end of the year. And obviously, they save a lot of the big media releases for the end of the year. If we don't get over $1 billion, when physical media goes underneath $1 billion for the year, that's the death knell. Now, maybe we'll have, like I've said, that the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox X prolonged the life of physical media by maybe half a decade. But we're seeing the end of physical media. It's not like vinyl. Vinyl can be made much cheaper. This is a totally different thing, and we are going to see what's really worrisome to me is players. I want to be able to I'm going to buy a few players and just put them away for a rainy day.
Would be a good idea.
Yeah. So let me see what else we got here. Adventure Square.
Oh.
Now, do we have...
John Cutter got his Mad Heidi, finally.
So we got some pictures. We got some pictures from our boy, Adventure Square, who sent in this tip. Now, why don't you give us... why don't you explain who Adventure Square is and what Adventure Square got?
Adventure Square won the competition for Mad Heidi, his media book, and finally he got his media book this weekend. And his real name is John Cutter. Rob, isn't John Cutter a great name? Almost like Sutter Kane,
Yeah, John Cutter is a great name. He should be like a vigilante.
Yeah, and he did send us a pic about his collection. I hope Rob have it ready to show.
I actually,
it's evident.
What? It's funny that you say that because I do indeed have this picture ready to show, but what I don't have is what I want to do is I want to have you on the screen at the same time. So what I'm going to do is move his collection over, and let me. It's a pretty great collection. He's got like Serpico in there. He's got a lot of titles that. Well, first of all, let's show that yes, indeed, he did in fact get Mad Heidi. So there it is, proudly on his shelf, which is amazing.
Hope you will like it, John. Hope you will like it.
Nope. Yeah. And then also
blast.
And look at this, dude. Look at there's his collection. And you can see he's even got the sensual world of Black Emmanuel on there. I mean, look at that, buddy. Is there other titles that you would like to single out in Adventure Square's collection? By the way, let me read what he says. He says,
exactly.
Love the Super Chat Adventure Square says, I love Mad Heidi. It's the kind of do-it-yourself filmmaking we need more of. It's tailor-made for my beloved trashy tastes in cinema that is unbound by big studio guidelines, one that is made with TLC, total love of carnage. So, I mean, I have to say that his collection has to rival yours in terms of being a trash panda.
Could be. But we haven't showed my haul this week, Rob.
Well, I know we haven't, dude. We haven't even got there yet. There's one thing, since we're talking about The Exorcist.
Yeah.
There's one thing. The Exorcist, as you know, is one of my favorite horror films, right? And well, you know what else is one of my favorite horror films?
Hellraiser?
Well, yeah, Hellraiser. We'll talk about that a little later. But Roman Polanski's Rosemary's Baby is coming out. Now, I got to ask you about this one, buddy, because let me put the output here so you can actually see what the live output from the show is.
Yeah.
Now, another cover came out that I want to complain about.
Ooh.
I want to complain about it. And I want to complain about it because I don't know who decided to do this. But, Dietz, I want you to look closely at this piece of shit cover. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
There it is. I've seen
it.
Now, okay, do you see that you see either... Let me ask you, do you see pregnant Rosemary and the baby carriage? Or do you see the face of the devil?
Oh, okay. Face of the devil. Wait a little bit. I have to close my window a little bit so I can see it better. Oh, okay. Now I see it.
So you've got either the devil, who's like with his mouth open, with his fangs and his horns, or you've got Rosemary that doesn't look anything like Mia Farrow with her pregnant tummy and all that. What the fuck is this cover? I mean, here's a very serious...
I have no idea.
Can I just bitch and moan and complain about this cover? Like, I understand, like, somebody thinks that's really great, you know? But this poster is one of my favorite... The original poster is one of my favorite horror posters. Why do we end up these two very erudite horror films? Why do we get that and this piece of shit? Like, what the fuck, dude? Who... See, again, Americans... You know, is this supposed to be funny? What is this supposed to be? Huh? Do you have an answer for me?
I have no idea. No, Rob.
I don't either.
The release of the Blu-ray that I believe would stem from the 4K master already a little bit identical with the green, but it was the original.
Well, this hasn't come out in 4K. Let me just quickly show you.
No, not in 4K. But the Blu-ray is not that old either. That came out already before.
Well,
so the double dipping situation again.
Well, Paramount did not put out. You know who put out the Blu-ray, buddy?
Yep.
Let's go. Criterion put out the Blu-ray, and here is the Criterion cover.
Okay.
Now, this I understand why somebody looks at this. This was the original artwork with Mia Farrow's face, and then the this is an elegant. I can understand why some people might not go for it. That, you know, some young millennial, some Gen Z kids like, let's make it look like this and it'll be fun. But this kind of trivializes the whole thing. And first of all, it also definitively says that the devil is somehow involved. And you know what? Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. That's what it should be. This is what it shouldn't be. But this is what we're getting. And by the way, Paramount themselves are releasing this. I'm just happy I'm getting it in 4K. But, I mean, come on, man. Here's Criterion. Here's Paramount. Let's bitch and moan and complain.
It looks like a cheap knockoff of the movie.
Yeah, it looks like a cheap knockoff. I fucking hate that shit. Come on, man. What the hell? Yeah. So, we're bitching and moaning and complaining. Yeah. And it's not about Star Trek. Still about Paramount.
There are other stuff too, Rob. We can bitch and moan and go about.
Undead Sick, our friend Undead Sick says, this confirms yet again to me that these companies do not care about ownership and preserving culture and art. They don't. I mean, look, you know, the tech bros, the problem is at the end of the day, money's great and money buys you happiness. I believe that. It makes your life easier and all that. But as human beings, we also need art and culture. We need music. We need things that touch our soul. And money is not going to touch your soul. But the culture that money can bring via paying orchestras and being able to make movies and all that is just as important as anything else. And that's what they're throwing the baby out with the bathwater, and it's a bummer. Die Dinks says, if there's no physical media, then you will not own the product you'll merely view or rent it. It means it can be edited, withdrawn, and disappeared forever. Yes, and that's 100% the case. And unfortunately, what I don't like about that is we've seen even in the 20th century, all of you kids out there that want to be Marxists or collectivists, the first thing they get rid of is stuff that they don't believe in. I mean, already you've got kids that don't believe in free speech and think that,
Oh, that's offensive. You got to get rid of that. I can't have something that's offensive to me or anybody else.
I mean, you know what? Life's offensive. The universe is offensive. One solar flare will ruin your whole day. I say be offensive. But Die Dinks is absolutely right. And it's very scary. You know what? I am going to stop right there because Hitchhiker 42 is bringing up something we're going to talk about a little later. So I give the floor to you, Dietz. For 2 weeks, what kind of trash have you brought us?
Yeah. The first one, Rob, I had a great time with it. I think
hang on a second. You're out of sync. You're out of sync. Wait.
Out of sync, the usual.
Hang on, let me see if you're in sync now.
Yeah. Test 1, 2.
Yeah, hang on. I'm gonna disconnect you and bring you back.
Okay.
Uh-oh. There you go.
Test.
Yeah, you're good. You're back.
Okay. Great. I think you showed it 2 weeks ago, Rob. Totally had a good time with it. I got my McBain. And you have to congratulate the stuntmen, the stunt work in this movie.
Is it not incredible? They got like the whole South African army to be in it.
Insane. So a good time with it. And I think, Rob, I have seen the movie probably in the VHS days last time. So really, really nice having McBain.
Thank you, James Glickenhaus.
Yeah. And Rob, a worker colleague mentioned that he is into motorsports at the moment. That he does some motorsport.
Well, that's good because when Germans tell me they're into water sports, I get a little worried.
And considering I'm driving to my lonely island with my Oppenheimer take, I take this one with me, Rob, the Black Demon. And Rob, please believe me, I tried to cancel my order. But it was a combination of 2 titles. And strangely enough, this was the first time Amazon didn't let me cancel it because they split, the shipping costs a little bit. So this was the first time I couldn't cancel the second one. The first one I already gotten. And I saw the reviews and I wanted to cancel it. And I thought, well, it can't be as bad as Shark Escape. It's a little bit above that, but not really that much.
Is that the one with the family? There's the oil rig, the empty oil rig?
Exactly, Rob.
I saw the trailer for that.
It's actually for me, Rob, a little bit of evidence why George Lucas probably didn't even not make it ever to the really top A-list actors. So let's forget about it.
Wait, George Lucas? You mean Josh Lucas?
George Lucas, yeah. What did I say, Rob?
George Lucas.
Oh, Josh, I mean Josh Lucas, of course. So I will take that with me to my lonely island. Rob, what do you like?
Grave.
Mutants, ghosts, and girls. So get in the back. Mutant, ghost, war girl. Chinese movie, Rob. So cat in the back.
So it's got a Chinese lead, which immediately it doesn't matter if the movie's bad because you've got a hot Chinese girl wielding weapons.
Exactly.
And if she's nude, so much the better, right?
Hopefully good. Now I will do something, Rob, which I normally don't do. I will follow in your footsteps.
Uh-oh.
I did show the John Wick UK special package.
Look at that.
But it only came with an MRA standard 4K Blu-ray in it. So actually, Rob, I bought a steelbook to put the steelbook in the box. And the other one I gave to a worker colleague, so I will put the steelbook in it, so it will not be the normal standard Blu-ray.
I did with that with my Indiana Jones collection.
So just see, I can close it up here. So I normally don't switch discs out to another, but this I thought, nah, package is nice, but just a normal in it. I have to have the steelbook. Cat in the Bag, it just came out in the States. I hope it's good. It's called Dark Nature. Like shows some.
Okay, what made you decide to buy that?
It looks up my alley, Rob. Considering the girls here went through hell, like the sisters in Martyrs, Rob. I see those kind of pictures and I think, oh, Dark Nature.
So wait, you're looking at upcoming releases and you're like, oh, there's 2 bloody chicks. I'm gonna buy it.
Unfortunately, Rob, that is exactly what it is.
Hey, you don't apologize to me. I'm just trying to figure out your thought process. I know that
like
everybody
Europe,
is watching now.
I go through Blu-ray.com. Oh, what is this Dark Nature? And of course, then a little bit of research will be done on Rotten Tomatoes,
Okay.
And then it comes at least with a deleted scene, a short film, and a music video. Strangely, let me just see what kind of. Rob, I never seen the studio label. The studio label is somehow Dread, strangely enough. So, and I've just went through the German release. It will come out in Germany later this year. Dark Nature. The next one, totally a little bit of surprise for me that it came out as a 4K, as a steelbook. I got Battlestar.
I
Galactica.
saw that. That's the original movie, right?
Yeah, the original.
I gotta get
movie,
that.
exactly.
I gotta get that.
But let me just watch. Okay, inside.
Now, that's from the UK? Oh, it's German.
No, it came from France, Rob. But of course, it's almost the disc is internationally, so you have all the ratings on the disc.
So is that
is
that the original TV movie or the theatrical version?
Oh, what is the difference, Rob? Exactly.
Well, there's the original TV pilot, like the 3-hour pilot, and then there's the theatrical version that they released.
No, this is the 2-hour movie, Rob. I believe.
Okay. So it's on 4K and Blu-ray?
Yeah. The running time, 2 hours and 4 minutes. So this is the movie that I know, Rob, that played here in the theater. But it doesn't come with a new sound. It's the 2.1.
Oh, okay.
Mix.
But the steelbook's cool.
Yeah, steelbook looks cool. That's why I bought it. So I can't tell you anything about the transfer.
And I think it would only come with a 2-channel stereo mix because unless it was remixed, which they probably wouldn't do. There was no 5.
But we have the 0.1, Rob, because of the sense around stuff that
I know.
came with the movie back in the day.
I saw it in sense around.
Yeah, and considering we even did get a second Battlestar Galactica movie here, which was called Mission Galactica, and as far as I know, it was
Mission Galactica: The Cylon Attack.
Yeah, it was just, I believe, Rob, in the States, just a TV movie. I think so.
They cut it together as they would. Yes, that's right.
But it did play here in the theater, Rob. And considering the sense around sound, Rob, I came out with that kind of a headache.
Oh well, okay.
This afternoon, I watched this one again to remind myself a little bit about the movie, and I actually would prefer to watch it in 3D, but I have a little bit of a soft spot, even if it's just more of a Transformers version of the Ninja Turtles in 4K from Paramount. And I did check out, Rob, the box office. How did it do? It did pretty well back in the day. Over 4 times, almost 4 times the budget of it. And the animated movie will start, Rob, next week, I believe. This week will come out. The animated. Nice. Yesterday, Rob, Cat in the Bag, but good Cat in the Bag, from up north, from Finland, the movie The Knocking.
Wow.
It's a media book of it. So really nice one about 3 siblings who travel back to their home house because the mother has passed away. And the movie had a great beginning, Rob. Immediately you were thrown in. The cops were there, detect the dead body, and I was fearing that they would, the usual do 2 days earlier, 1 week earlier, but they didn't do that. You will get flashbacks considering what has happened, but this was really a nice, great movie from Finland, Rob. The Knocking. And I don't want to give much away. And even if the cover doesn't give too much of a big vibe, the red is actually fitting when you see the movie. And the movie came with the media book with a poster. This was the signed edition where the directors signed the poster. The Knocking from Finland.
Makes me want to make the movie The Knocking Up. Just kidding. Sort of.
So,
That was for Irene
Knocking.
Jobson.
And another media book I watched yesterday. This is a movie from Argentina. And the original title is Legions. But, Rob, you know my Germans, they had to switch it up and called it Rise of the Demons.
All right.
He had in the back, so I was, of course, Rob, I see this cover, I read the title, already associate something like Lamberto Bava's Demons.
Yeah, of course.
But unfortunately, it's not in that category. It's a movie that I think has the heart in the right place, but it can overcome or reach new heights in the specific areas. The humor is fine, but it's never laugh out loud moments. Demon action is in it, but not that many. It's about an older man who lives now in an insane asylum, and he has to break out of the insane asylum to save his daughter from an old demon. So it's not that bad of a movie, but it's just, unfortunately, just in the middle. Rise of the Demons, the original title is Legions. So this is the media book, and the movie is from Argentina. So this was probably the only really gory scene. So unfortunately, not particularly in the same vein as Demons, as I would thought it would be. A little bit of music, Rob. This was a nice present from one of my oldest friends. I didn't know this was coming out. And this is made in the USA, Rob. Black Sabbath, the Paranoid album. but as a help me out, Quadio.
Yeah,
release.
so it's remixed in four channel sound, quad sound.
Exactly, Rob. But I didn't know that this was coming out. So really nice. And I already then pre-ordered the Alice Cooper album, $1 Billion Babies, which will come out as a Quadio 2. And as far as I know, Rob, they are only releasing this in the States. I don't think this will get internationally released.
That's one of my new favorite things now is getting remixed in 5.1 or Dolby Atmos, because they're doing a lot of that. As a matter of fact, ABC's album The Look of Love is coming out, and I'm looking. Let me see when it's the 4K is coming out, but it is coming out and it's being remixed, and I want it. So
of course,
they sound incredible. I mean, they
sound...
So
really great take on the album with the, like Rob said, 4.0 sound, the Quadio mix. Made in USA. And speaking not made of USA, sondern I forgot something when I showed the Black Sabbath Live Evil Super Deluxe Edition. Of course, I forgot to mention that it is made in Germany, Rob. Of course. Where else? And another thing that was made in Germany. This was one of my Instagram followers after I showed the Live Evil Super Deluxe Edition. He asked me about this edition, and I didn't even know this came out 2022. And just from the cover artwork, okay, I don't know if what it entails will thrill me completely, but the different cover artwork, I said, okay, I have to get it. I bought this Super Deluxe Edition media book from Dio's Holy Diver, which has a different cover artwork than we used to know from
that looks
the CD.
gorgeous.
And the cover artwork goes around the whole media book. And it comes, of course, again with the Holy Diver album remastered, but it comes with a Joe Barresi remix, which is a little bit of a different take on the album. Normally, the album has a lot of fade outs considering the songs, but this here the songs are more in a perhaps demo state, but just with the same sound quality and a little bit of a counting in the songs. So this is a little bit different. And it comes with a great live CD, which is totally great. And I didn't get around to hear B-sides on the Force disc. And this is a media book which contains a little bit about the story of that famous album from, of course, us Ronnie here fans. So this was actually a great reminder from an Instagram follower about this release, which I hadn't heard of because the album was, of course, re-released multiple times. But this was actually really, really nice, especially with the kind of new artwork for the album. So this is a media book. So,
nice.
So far, Rob, so far. I have still some left for a little bit later.
Yeah.
Where do we go, Rob?
Where do we go now? Do you have any letters?
Yeah, I have some letters to read.
Well, let's read them.
Okay. Let me just see. I had some the short one here first from Brian Knight, of course.
Oh,
it's back as always. Seattle Orcas, and his subject headline is Seattle Orcas in the Major League Cricket Finals. Robert, your hometown Seattle Orcas cricket team is in the finals Sunday night, July 4th. So this night at the Dallas, Texas Cricket Stadium, taking on the Mumbai Indians of New York in the inaugural Major League Cricket Finals.
Wow.
Didn't know that, Rob.
I did not know that either, but that, aside from...
So we're both not really keeping up with the cricket stuff.
But still, I just want to point out, it's just another way that my hometown's still cool, despite its homeless problem and the crazy economy. Still a cool town.
Yeah. The next one comes from Pedro Pereira. And here he says, hello, Rob and Dieter. I have something I wanted to talk about for some time now. More and more, we are getting physical releases of either successful big budget or low budget, as well as cult movies. My problem is what is happening in between. Those movies that failed at the box office or those that did well at the cinema but had a medium budget are not being given any special treatment via a physical release. That's quite a high percentage of cinema history overall. I'm not sure how many times they can keep releasing Highlander and Dirty Dancing or The Terminator before they decide to take a financial gamble and go for something that's not as well known. The worst thing about all this is this leading to a vicious cycle of seeing these movies being lost to time and not educating new generations on these films existing even if they don't have the cultural impact something like Back to the Future does. A cause for concern. Would like to hear your thoughts.
I think it's a really good point. I think he's making a really good point. And you know, again, we talk about exploitation movies or cinema history and all that, but you know, a lot of medium. There's a lot of movies. One of the things I've liked about, for instance, what Kino Lorber is doing is they're putting out a lot of mid-range movies that weren't necessarily successful, but are a part of catalog titles, and I'll show more of those later. But and you get to see things that you know, are good, but maybe not great movies.
Yeah, and like you said, it's sometimes the company will the title sell or probably not. That's why I like to look at the box office, but it's always a nice indicator how a title will sell later when it hits the home theater market.
Yeah.
Comes when it will come out. The next one, Rob, is actually, we are going back to Oppenheimer. It's from our friend Thomas Logan, who is actually somehow, I think he makes pizzas, but somehow I think he's working for IMAX because he's one of the biggest IMAX shills I know, and he's letting us know that. Okay?
Here it comes.
Greetings, Rob and DB. Stoked to hear the two of you discuss the Barbenheimer phenomenon on today's episode of Let's Get Physical Media. After 10 days of hearing people discuss Oppenheimer's IMAX release, which Dieter almost experienced had he known some of the following details. I think it's beneficial to the channel and to anyone listening to today's show to understand why Nolan is so obsessed with shooting in IMAX film and projecting said IMAX film in genuine 1570 IMAX venues. This should clarify all confusion regarding this matter. IMAX is the highest achievable resolution for cinema today. It has to do with both the size of the actual film stock and also the massive 5.5-story screens that make up a true 1570 IMAX venue. IMAX film offers a giant 143 to 1 film presentation equivalent to 18K. Yes, you heard that right. 18K, or the closest we can replicate what the human eyeball sees. Unfortunately, over the years, the company got greedy and began cutting deals with corporate cineplexes to build smaller, more financially reasonable IMAX venues. These don't project film and are completely digital using laser projection that produces a resolution of 8K. There's still a better option for movie watching. The sound alone is superior to any regular 4K theater house, but they are not real IMAX venues. They have thus been nicknamed LIMAX theaters, projecting IMAX films with a cropped aspect ratio of 190 to 1. So yes, watching Oppenheimer in a LIMAX means you are not watching it on 70mm IMAX film, as Nolan intended. Second, watching a version that's been cropped to fit the 1 to 90 to 1 screen, reducing the picture size by almost 30% from its original 143 to 1 aspect ratio. With a regular 4K stadium seating or auditorium, you're losing a little over 40% of the actual picture to accommodate the average theater's 235 to 1 aspect ratio. And unlike LIMAX screens, which at least retain IMAX sound system, for which Nolan specifically mixes his films, you lose that too. What about 70mm projection that isn't IMAX? Well, at least it's film, but again, it's not 1570, so you lose the intended 143 to 1 aspect ratio and the massive size of a 1570 IMAX venue. You get the magic and ambience of celluloid, but it's not what Nolan intended for you to watch Oppenheimer or any of his films in. In summary, Nolan shoots his movies in 70mm IMAX film to then have them projected in 15 to 70 IMAX venues. Anything else is inferior. If you can't find a real IMAX venue near you, settle for LIMAX. Filmmakers like Nolan are looking to immerse you. They want you to live the movie rather than watch it. That's the magic of shooting in IMAX and having audience experience films in IMAX. Denis Villeneuve, like Nolan, believes in this, so even though he doesn't shoot with IMAX film cameras, but rather with IMAX digital cameras, he frames his Dune movies in 43 to 1, so they can be projected in 1570 IMAX venues. When you watch Oppenheimer in 1570 IMAX, you'll find a trailer for Dune Part 2 presented entirely in 143 to 1, filling up the massive 5.5-story screen. Nolan, Villeneuve, Francis Lawrence, Jordan Peele, and Zack Snyder are just a handful of filmmakers that see the advantage of IMAX. Their cinematic visions have a scale that demands more than what the average theater screen can project. Hope this clarifies everything for anyone out there wondering what the difference between IMAX and non-IMAX theaters is, or the difference between 70mm IMAX and 70mm non-IMAX projection. On its 4-day opening weekend, Oppenheimer made $35 million in IMAX alone, $400 million total in 11 days, a 3-hour R-rated drama about the historical figure. That's right, Oppenheimer screenings at 1517 IMAX venues are sold out through September, as these venues are choosing to ignore the IMAX release of Blue Beetle, August 18, and Gran Turismo, August 25, to keep running Oppenheimer instead. That's the power of Christopher Nolan releasing a new movie shot with 70mm IMAX film and projecting said movie in 1570 IMAX venues. As I mentioned earlier, Nolan isn't the only auteur to delve into the magic of IMAX film though. Nolan opened the door with The Dark Knight in 2008. Other filmmakers followed in his footsteps. Here's a list of films shot with 70mm IMAX film and released in 1570 IMAX venues. Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight, of course, 2008, 28 minutes of IMAX footage. Michael Bay's Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen, in 2009, 9 minutes of IMAX footage, which I actually, remember, Rob, getting the Blu-ray version of that version with the IMAX scenes in it.
Yep.
And I had to bought it on eBay, which was really
Same with
expensive.
The Dark Knight, though.
I can't remember, Rob, if the Blu-ray of Transformers Revenge of the Fallen was a Best Buy exclusive, something like that. It was not available on Amazon. I remember that, at least. Brad Bird's Mission Impossible, Ghost Protocol, 25 minutes of IMAX footage. Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight Rises, 72 minutes of IMAX footage. J.J. Abrams' Star Trek Into Darkness, 30 minutes of IMAX footage. And here comes the kicker, Thomas. Does it really make the movie better?
Not in that case of Into Darkness.
Not in the case of Into Darkness.
One of the worst big budget sci-fi films ever made. Just saying.
Francis Lawrence, The Hunger Games, Chef's Kiss, Thomas here, Catching Fire, 48 minutes of IMAX footage. Christopher Nolan's Interstellar, 66 minutes of footage, which, Thomas, you wouldn't believe it, I actually saw in IMAX because I was in Berlin at the time it was released. Number 8, J.J. Abrams' Star Wars The Force Awakens, 5 minutes of IMAX footage. So, is it really 5 minutes, considering a 130-minute movie? Zack Snyder's Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, 27 minutes of IMAX footage, and I'm really glad, Rob, we got that Blu-ray 4K release with the IMAX footage of the fight. This was really great. Of course, Dunkirk, 79 minutes of IMAX footage. Damien Chazelle's First Man, 10 minutes of IMAX footage. Didn't know that. Christopher Nolan's Tenet, 75 minutes of IMAX footage. And Cary Fukunaga's No Time to Die, 30 minutes of IMAX footage. And Jordan Peele's Nope, 49 minutes of IMAX footage. Thomas Logan. And PS, he says, Dieter will experience Dune Part 2 in 1570 IMAX, even if it means I have to visit Germany in November and drive him there myself. I will hold you to that, Thomas. So here's the IMAX shilling letter from Thomas Logan.
Wow, Thomas. I mean, that you're certainly filleting IMAX there, but I'm all for that. I'm for that. I mean, I love the format. Great information, by the way. Totally. And look, totally. I agree.
Because I didn't know about. I was reading it and I thought, okay, what is this IMAX again?
Well, no, it's true. I mean, that he actually did a great job of explaining it. You know, AMC can put it in IMAX theater. It's a bigger screen, better sound, but it isn't a full-on IMAX screen.
Okay.
And in LA, I think I'm not sure about the Chinese. I think the Chinese might be a true IMAX screen.
Okay.
But then, you know, the Chinese theater was retrofitted with IMAX in 2015, where they actually excavated into the ground. And I do love the Chinese, but I think in the greater LA area, we lost the bridge, but Universal still has a real IMAX theater. But everything else is like Limax around here. That's the thing, because to find true 70mm IMAX is really hard. It's hard. They retrofitted the Chinese. So are you done with that? Is done with letters?
I have one letter left, Rob, but we can switch it up with some different stuff.
Well, I was gonna say, since we've already shown a few things, we don't have to wait and just show. We have but we have a super chat. First of all, Justin Toner sent us a super chat, a tip actually. Justin sent us a tip and said, "Hey, Rob and Dieter, I got the Renault and Western 4K set from Criterion before the sale ended. I'm very excited for their October slate with Videodrome in 4K, which Arrow has already put out, and the Todd Browning box set with Freaks finally on Blu-ray and restored. One of us." By the way, George Feltenstein was telling me about that Freaks, and he said, you know, the movie looks incredible. It's best elements they could get for the film, and he was saying it's truly spectacular. So thank you, George, for that, which is amazing. So that's very cool. And then in terms of the Alex Zorba, or pardon me, not the Alex Zorba, that we already did that one. Oh no, I already said Disney is dying, so I already did that. Scarpad's Domain says, "Hey Rob, did you see Vinegar Syndrome's Gorgo? It's gorgeous. By the way, Strange New Worlds episode 5 finally broke this old Trek fan, and I'm sad." Yeah, I look, I know. Strange New Worlds, everyone thinks this episode's so good, even though it's completely morally bankrupt, but that's okay. And, I haven't seen the Vinegar Syndrome Gorgo, but, I'll probably buy just about everything Vinegar Syndrome puts out, and I do need to get that. Hitchhiker42 says, "Hail all. I have pre-ordered the 4K Hellraiser Quad box set in the UK with the Weird Science limited edition and Guardians of the Galaxy 3 Steelbook as well. Expensive month. So again, like the Scarlet Box, when Vinegar Syndrome, when Arrow did the Scarlet Box, it was available in the UK but not available here. So what he is talking about, and boy is this tasty for a Hellraiser fan, which I am.
Definitely.
Here is this gorgeous Hellraiser box set. Now, this is unlike the Scarlet Box, which is Hellraiser 1, 2, and 3, Hellraiser Hellbound, Hellraiser Hellbound, and Hellraiser Hell on Earth. This is all 4 of the theatrical release Hellraiser movies. And I think there's a different cut of Hellraiser 4 in here with a book. I mean, I'll definitely get this.
I think it's just the work print, Rob.
Yeah, it's the work print, which is... So they are releasing this, and I'll have to get that. But again, only from the UK, and fucking Zavvi UK will not ship to the United States. And Arrow themselves don't ship to the United States anymore. So hopefully you can get this through Amazon UK as long as that fucking Swiss French company Ascendia doesn't send it to me. So fuck you guys. I'll have to pay extra from Amazon. I always forget to do that. So there it is. But what a cool box set. And, if Connie Sang's going to buy this, if she's going to buy any physical media, she should get this because she loves the Hell Priest. So, Connie, you should get this. I don't know if you're watching the show now, but hey, Arrow is also putting out, believe it or not, Arrow is putting out Witness, Peter Weir's Witness, in a beautiful box
set.
set.
Harrison Ford. Oh, okay.
With Harrison Ford. Peter Weir, this is a great movie. I'm glad Arrow's putting out. I find it odd that Arrow's putting this out, but not Paramount. But hey, doesn't matter to me. Arrow's going to do a fine job. I love that they're putting this out.
Has this been ever released, Rob? I don't know.
I'm sure that maybe it hasn't. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I mean, it's been released on like other formats, but I don't know about. But this is coming out, and what a great movie to put out. They're also putting out, and this is pretty dope. They're putting out a new version of House by the Cemetery. Which looks great, and they're doing different versions. Obviously, this is their art version, the original art version, but they're also putting out, and check this out, the English version. I'm sure you're going to have reversible covers, but you can choose to get their original art version, which I very much appreciate, with the original Italian, or you can get House by the Cemetery, and apparently this version coming from Arrow is better than, I don't know if it was Severin who I forget who put this out.
Severin
already put it out. They've done some changes on it. Love this movie, love this packaging. So take your pick, get it from Arrow, and not to be outdone, but they're also putting out the Iron-Fisted Monk, bum bum bum, which is more. We're getting more of this incredible Asian martial arts. Wuxia films. I mean, what's not to love? Arrow's putting this out too. So go Arrow. They're putting that out, which is really exciting. What a great, between Criterion and Arrow, we're going to have a hell of an October. A Hellraiser of an October. I know, terrible. That's not what you pay me for. I'm not a stand-up. But I try and...
If I remember correctly, Rob, I think House by the Cemetery was forbidden here in Germany.
Yeah, total video nasty.
Yeah, total.
Yeah, so there we go there. So Hitchhiker 42, Life, the Universe, and Everything. Scarpad's Domain says, "Hey Rob, did you get the Vinegar?" Oh, I already said that. Gorgo, and I'm sorry about Strange New Worlds breaking your heart. It's been breaking my heart for 2 years. So welcome to the party. The Alex Zorba says, "Disney's dying. They're bleeding hundreds of millions at both cinema and streaming. They'll be selling the Fox library for cash before the government bailout. Everyone's they're talking about the demise of Disney. I don't know. I think they're fairly resilient. They've still got the parks going. They've got a lot more. Yeah, they're bleeding money in terms of their movies and TV. But, they've got a lot of other stuff going on. So I don't know if they're going to be needed. I don't know if they need to be bailed out or not. Hey, they've lost a few billion. It's not like Warner Discovery's $50 billion they need to make up. So we'll see. But you're right. I don't know if it's dying, but they're certainly wounded. Undead 6 says, but here's the thing, Rob. Numbers aren't everything, and do we really want quantity over quality? No, I don't think we do. I think we always want quality, but there's a lot of movies, hundreds if not thousands, thousands of movies that aren't even available, part of our great cinematic legacy. So we want to get more and more of those. So yeah. A 200-watt studio says in the TV version of Battlestar Galactica, the pilot, the 3-hour movie, Baltar was spared. But in the theatrical version, he dies.
Oh, nice to know.
That is good. That is good to know. And I'd forgotten about that. But yeah. So that's amazing. And our friend 5 Dot Toast says, welcome back, Robin Dietz. I think I missed it, but how is To Live and Die in LA in 4K? Well, you did miss it, but since you asked...
Rob's gladly repeating itself.
It's fantastic. Best movies ever looked or sounded. Chock-a-block full of this legacy special features. Very happy, very happy. So 5 Dot Toast, get some of that toast, put whatever on it that you want, sit down with a stack and munchy wantix of toast. If you're a Clockwork Orange fan, you know what that means. Here it is, man. And so 5 Dot Toast, big kiss for you asking. So he goes on, he says, I think now that milestone has been achieved, my next major Friedkin that I must have would be a 4K of Bug from 2006 with Ashley Judd.
Wasn't Kino Lorber working on that, but they canceled it?
You know what? They might be. I don't know. I'd like to get Bug and Killer Joe. But what I'd really like in 4K, I mean, look, man, we need the French Connection. We need Sorcerer. I mean, we're getting The Exorcist, and I need to get that BFI. I gotta call somebody. Somebody's got to hook me up with that box set.
Well, Mark Kermode. He can
I'll call Mark because he and I go way back.
Yeah,
we don't.
Totally.
I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of Mark. Mark, help a brother out. So maybe I can maybe I call George Feltenstein and he can hook me up. Although he's hooked me up with a lot of stuff lately. So thanks for you, George. But yeah, so yeah, there you go. Somebody says George handles Warner Archive, not Warner Home Video. That's true. But George knows people.
Certainly does.
Someday this war is going to end. I don't know what that means. It's just an Apocalypse Now reference for you right away. Adventure Square says, I've got to dash off to catch a screening at my festival. Are you going to Fantasia up there, buddy? Yeah. Wishing everyone a great movie-watching week with your favorite physical or big screen media. That begs the question. Let's see, Fantasia. Festival.
Have a great day, Sean.
Yeah, have a great day. Yes, for sure. Faux show. So, okay, we're caught up on Super Chats and tips. Okay. So I think I've got everybody's. I haven't missed anyone. So you can send in Super Chats and tips, and we will get to them. Or not. Just listen to our comedy stylings. Either way, we're happy to have you.
Who goes on, Rob Rose, with physical media?
What's that?
Who goes on with physical media?
Do you have more?
I have more.
Oh, dude, show us. Let's see what you got, Trash Panda.
The first one, thanks Thomas Logan, because he did send me The Life of Others on Blu-ray, but I already have this title. Because this came out of nowhere, I didn't know the address. But, Thomas, I asked my friend Patrick, and he doesn't have the Blu-ray of The Life of Others, so he will get this one. The next one, unfortunately, no special features on it. I bought with Shailene Woodley, To Catch a Killer. A nice, not a serial killer. How can I describe it? She helps out the FBI agent. The movie starts with a insane mass shooting at the beginning, but they can catch the culprit of it, and of course they have to figure out who is behind it. So a really nice one. It could have had a bigger climax, bigger great showdown finale to it, but nevertheless really nice thriller To Catch a Killer. Rob, you showed this I think way back, but I got it finally too. The 4K
Yes.
of the first Avatar, fortunately. And this is not, Rob, this is not as shiny as yours, Rob. This is just a little bit more of a matte finish from Spain. But I would actually watch it in 3D. But to complete your journey, the first Avatar in 4K. And as Rob said, familiarity, that doesn't suck, and I'm a big fan of the franchise. Even if I had the Steelbook, this one looked great to me too, because this is coming from Amazon Spain, and they did something similar with Smile. So this is a different cover variation of Scream 6, which comes with the usual. But that isn't all. We have some nice character art cards in it. Water 6 one.
Nice.
So, as Rob said, familiarity, that didn't suck. Can't wait for a new one. Yeah, you are right, Rob. You are right, Rob. As a fan of the franchise, I thought you get exactly what you were hoping for. And I would have loved to visit a theater, Rob. With all the memorabilia of the series.
Yeah.
In the movie, they should have left that open for the public.
Yes, they should.
Charge a little fee with all the nostalgia stuff. You showed it, Rob. I really think 2 weeks or even way back, I got my Creep Show, the 4K.
Have you watched
I don't know if Rob. Unfortunately, not Rob. I did get it yesterday.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, and Rob probably forgot to mention it has a.
No, I mentioned it.
You mentioned it. Okay.
I showed
okay.
it. I showed it. I had mine just like that. I had it ready to go.
I will take it back. Creep Show. Really looking forward to it. Like Rob said, because of the new transfer. Cat in the Bag, but a nice media book. And I think it's Korean. Is it a Korean movie? Let me just look at the language here, which should be around here. I think so. Movie is called, just simple, The Assassin. Media book.
That's cool.
It is a 4K. Yeah, it is a 4K. So, Cat in the Bag, but a lover of Asian cinema. I would think I will not be greatly disappointed. Wouldn't think so. The Assassin. So I have 3 left, and 2 Rob showed 2 weeks ago. I got mine from Second Sight 2. I got May, which comes, of course, as always, with a nice book for the movie. And I don't remember if I have seen May or can't remember it exactly. So really looking forward to seeing May. And we have some lobby cards for the movie. Was it Lucky McGee, Rob? Help me out here, I think.
Yes.
So May. And the other one that Rob showed, which of course I had to get, was Ron Diaz, French Revolution, with one of the final girls So, but it's not like May. It's not a 4K, and I don't think that would be needed because those movies are all around the same age, probably shot just on a 2K digital camera. I would just think so. So that there is actually not really a 4K, not even a 4K master for those movies. And the last one, Rob, for us as apologists of sequels, like Mission Impossible 2, like the Quantum of Solace, I got my
Oh
Jaws
yeah,
2,
I
Rob.
got the lovely Emma Bannon got me the big set from UK, but I don't have it yet.
Yeah. So this comes. It's actually not. It's lenticular. It doesn't show on camera. And then inside, we have the new steelbook
Yeah,
artwork
look at that.
for the movie. It's actually not the red one that Rob did show. And we have a little booklet for the movie. And lobby, let me just see a poster in it with the original, more well-known cover artwork for it. Jaws 2, no. Just when you thought it was safe to go back to the water. One good bite
Yeah.
deserves another, no. And this is what I really like, because this is actually really, I remember lobby cards being, you have the poster artwork on one side and then a picture of the movie. So this is really, really nice for me. This is mostly, I remember lobby cards in the theaters being when they're under a glass window, something like that. You always had the movie poster on one side and then the picture here. So some lobby cards for Jaws 2. So Rob, that actually was it. Was it for 2 weeks?
Well, I
Jaws
got a
2,
lot.
the last
I got a
one.
lot more from our to
Okay.
show. I got some good stuff. Gotta
You
thank.
take over, I put everything back together.
Gotta thank. Okay, I'll take over as you put everything back. As everyone knows, the unofficial sponsors of this channel did right by me. Kino Lorber has been putting out. We just talked about like mid-level films, a lot of the MGM library movies that came out kind of fell by the wayside. Movies I don't know necessarily, or some that I do know. Robert Carradine and Billy D. Williams, number one with the bullet. Never seen this movie.
Never heard of that movie.
This is again a brand new master, brand new 2K scan, and of course Billy D. Williams from Nighthawks, and of course Lando Calrissian and Mahogany. This is a movie I have seen, but I saw it a long time ago. Steve McQueen in Nevada Smith, pretty exciting. A James Coburn movie, Dead Heat on a merry-go-round. By the way, thank you Kino Lorber for O-rings for all of these. And again, I mean, I'll watch anything that James Coburn's in because I love James Coburn. Now, this is interesting. This was fun. One of my favorite noir films ever, Force of Evil with John Garfield. This was directed by Abraham Polanski, and the first time I saw this movie was actually at USC in I was there 88, 89 when I first got to LA, and I met Abraham Polanski came and spoke in Max Lamb's cinema class. And he came in and they showed the movie, and the director came down, and Polanski was a pretty well-known figure back in the day, but this is a great noir about a corrupt lawyer getting involved with a numbers racket, and bad things happen.
I have to ask a stupid question, Rob. Any relation to Roman?
No, it's not. That's Polanski. This is Abraham Polanski. So different name. And this is this is a 4K restoration. It's not in 4K, but it is a restoration. So I haven't looked at these are new. They just came in. Movie I love, John Cassavetes' Gloria with Jenna Rollins. I like this movie when I first saw it. And again, it doesn't say this is a new transfer. It's Columbia, and by the way, this is region ABC. So if you dig this movie, Now, this was a movie, again, because I don't know what they're going to send me. Stuff shows up.
Yeah.
A Sean Connery movie called The Anderson Tapes. They sent me this, which, again, I don't think it's a new transfer, but Sidney Lumet directed this movie. And early Sidney Lumet, so I always liked this movie, and now I have it on disc. Never owned it on disc before. Here's a movie that I've never seen and I don't know anything about, but Tom Courtenay, Lawrence Harvey, and Mia Farrow in A Dandy and Aspic. Awesome. Okay, haven't seen it. And again, there's special features on all of these. This is actually from 1968. So it's funny because, again, we were talking about studio programmers at the time. There's so many movies that I missed out on, especially because I was only alive for like a year. So I didn't see this. Now, this is dope. So Kino Lorber has already released recently, they re-released Ronin in 4K, which is fucking awesome. Their transfer of Ronin is great. They also put out The Manchurian Candidate in 4K. Another Frankenheimer. So Frankenheimer directed Ronin. Frankenheimer directed Manchurian Candidate, also in 4K. Now, while this isn't in 4K, this is a nasty slice of neo-noir, and it makes a hell of a double feature with To Live and Die in L.A., also directed by John Frankenheimer. I love this movie. Roy Scheider and Anne Margaret in 52 pickup.
52.
If you haven't seen this, John Glover is awesome. This movie is awesome. So Kino Lorber is putting out, I mean, all we need now, we need the Birdman of Alcatraz. I think they're putting out, do I already have The Train in 4K? And we need, what I really want is Seconds. Can I get Seconds in 4K, please? So that's out. So these are all from Kino Lorber, the unofficial sponsor of this channel. Now, in addition to Live and Die in L.A., Kino Lorber now also put out a couple things. Now, this is really interesting. So, Johan Johansson, the composer who composed the music for, like, Sicario, who died very young, put out this movie, which is, I guess, a tone poem. This is coming out. This is, again, Kino Lorber. It's called Last and First Men. He directed it, in addition to composing the music. It's narrated by Tilda Swinton. Now, I have not seen this, but listen to this. 2 billion years in the future, humanity finds itself on the verge of extinction. Almost all the remains of our lone surreal monuments, the futuristic, solitary, brutalist stone slabs erected during the communist era in the former Yugoslavian republics, arrestingly photographed. He did the music in Tilda Swinton, and this is based on an Olaf Stapleton story from the 1930s. Last and First Man. I've not seen this. I just got it. I don't know what this is, but God bless.
Cat
Cat
in the bag.
Kino Lorber. It's a cat in the bag. I'm so happy they put this out. I saw this. I had pre-ordered this, not realizing it was a Kino Lorber title. So thank you, Kino Lorber, for putting this out. Can't wait to see it. And it's, it's in DTS, so I bet it sounds great. And then, not to be outdone, my final Kino Lorber disc for the week is their 4K version of Needful Things, the Stephen King adaptation. I've always really liked, I don't know if you can see it, you can't see it, but I have the book of Needful Thing. I read Needful Things when it came out. This is a Stephen King adaptation that I think a lot of people sleep on. If you like the overall story, Max von Sydow playing Leland Gaunt. Leland Gaunt, what a great name for a character. Thank you, Stephen King. I think this is almost a better adaptation of the book than the book is. Kind of like Cujo, which is also coming out from Kino Lorber. But, and this is a Dolby Vision show, a Dolby Vision movie transfer. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good looking 4K. Again, it doesn't reflect on Kino Lorber. It's just the way the movie was shot. And in terms of the Dolby Vision, sometimes, because Dolby Vision, the metadata is changing from scene to scene. There was a couple times the metadata took a minute or took a second. It popped a little bit, which caused some color issues, but not many. I mean, but what's cool about this is not only does it have the 4K in it, it also has the extended television cut. So,
Nice.
and I don't know if they released that before. They probably did because Kino Lorber has it.
I
But
have no idea, Rob.
So it's got
Considering
the
the cuts of Needful Things.
yeah, so there's the television cut is in here and the 4K, but
Yeah.
the 4K is a lot of fun. I watched it with Elizabeth the other night, and I really like this movie. Great performances. Ed Harris is in this movie. Bonnie Bedelia is in this movie. Amanda Plummer is in this movie, and she has a great death scene. I like this movie a lot. Patrick Doyle has a pretty great music score. I really enjoy this. Thank you, Kino Lorber. I watched it the other night, and thanks for that. So that's exciting. And then you know what else I got? I got a box from Warner Archive.
Ooh.
Would you like to see what Warner Archive sent me? Now, these are all of their up... Well, first of all, before I get to Warner Archive, I did get One False Move. Carl Franklin's movie, One False Move, in 4K. I love this movie. This is another great neo-noir. If you haven't seen this, this should be a cat in the bag for you. It's a great, great, great film. Thank you, Criterion, and thank you for putting it out in 4K, which is dope. Oh, by the way, I do have one more Kino Lorber Blu-ray, a foreign film called Scarlet. And I've not seen this before, but it's an expansive, visually adventurous, filled with lyrical beauty, moments of magic, and unexpected hope. It's by Pietro Marcello, from the director of Martin Eden. I don't know anything about this movie, but Kino Lorber is always putting out bangers when it comes to foreign films. So Scarlet, get that one. Kino Lorber, thank you again for all the help, and thank you again for that great interview we did, and thank you for this. I know it took a year. I know we slagged off on you a lot, but hey, grand fashion.
Here we are.
There you go. So the boys, George Feltenstein and the crew, I shouldn't say the boys because there's probably girls working there too, or you never know. There's people who maybe are not gender specific. I don't want to leave anyone out because, again, really like the diversity in terms of the stories and the movies being released. Broadway Melody. Now, I want to say this won Best Picture.
Yeah.
I don't know. Broadway Melody. I'm sure this looks great. I can't wait to see what that looks like. Then The Last Time, an Elizabeth Taylor movie, Van Johnson, Walter Pidgeon, and Donna Reed. The Last Time I Saw Paris. I bet that's great. And I know it looks great. And I know that the bit rates are high. Helen of Troy, the original Helen of Troy. Again, I love that they're going epic. And you know who directed this, everybody? Robert Wise. That's right. Sound of Music, Robert Wise. Star Trek The Motion Picture, Robert Wise. Curse the Cat People, Robert Wise. Editor of Citizen Kane, Robert Wise. Helen of Troy. There you go. And it's lavish and exciting. It says right here, with great battle scenes and grand pageantry. And, you know, he knows his way around an epic. The Fastest Gun Alive with Glenn Ford. There's another great MGM movie. Fastest Gun Alive. It's great. Look at that cover, man. I miss artwork like this. And thank God that Warner Archive uses it. This is another epic. I love this. Terrific as all creation. Cimarron. And from the author of Giant. So that came out as well. And these haven't come out yet. They're coming out, I believe, in August. And then, I don't know anything about this, but Lucille Ball, Red Skelton, Gene Kelly, and Tommy Dorsey. I mean, I've heard of this movie, of course, but I've never seen it. DuBarry Was a Lady. Come on, if it's got Lucille Ball in it. These are great. Again, George Feltenstein and the people over at Warner Archive doing a great job digging in. And even George told me recently, he goes, don't worry, we have more modern movies coming out. You know, people are always going, well, when are you going to release something new? Look, I think that what's great about what they're doing at Warner Archive is they're bringing you things you don't know or haven't seen, and they're giving them to you in grand fashion. So I would say that 2023 for Warner Archive has proven how well George Feltenstein has curated what Warner Archive is putting out and what they've decided to do. So kudos to them. And remember, if it wasn't for George Feltenstein, who helped Second Sight find the negative of The Hitcher, they wouldn't be giving us The Hitcher. Hopefully we'll get it by the end of the year. Don't know. but that's cool.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. And finally, Chris Gore, of Film Threats, Chris Gore, I want to thank him for that, gave me his documentary, the Blu-ray Attack of the Doc. Now, he gave this to me at ComicCon. I have not cracked this open. I've seen the documentary. I thought the documentary was great. It's all about Attack of the Show. Now, as Chris told me, though, this Blu-ray is full of Easter eggs and all kinds of things. He says on every menu screen there's an Easter egg to find.
Yeah.
That this really pushes the medium of what Blu-ray is capable of. It's full of special features, all kinds of crazy stuff. But as I said, the documentary is really...
So it rivals the Hills Run Red Rope, considering.
Yeah, it probably does in terms of being self-indulgent. But the documentary is really good, really entertaining, well done. So congratulations, Chris, for getting this Blu-ray out. And that, my friend, is all. That's my haul. It's a pretty big haul, by the way, this week.
Yeah.
And hopefully I will we have guests, so I want to have all this stuff up and alphabetized on the wall, or in the little corridor. The corridor, it's not quite the Criterion Closet, but what I have over there is similar to the Criterion Closet, and I need it all organized because I have family guests coming in from international destinations, and I want to be able for them to walk in and, pick stuff out to watch. So that's where we are at. Yes,
Nice.
sir.
So where do we go? Do we have still
Where do we
more
go
news?
now? I'll tell you something else. We got Michael
Because you
Preston.
already showed stuff that is coming out. Do we have
I have not.
more?
I have not. There's more stuff coming up, but I just want to say Michael Preston sends in a super chat and says that he got his To Live and Die yesterday. You're a good man.
Ooh.
Tom Jr. Jackson says, I got the Manhattan Project, One Crazy Summer, Hey There, It's Yogi Bear, Better Off Dead, and Moving Violations on Blu-ray, and the last three are coming today. Those are Warner Archive titles, which is great. And then 200 Watt Studio says, highly recommend One False Move, Bill Paxton's best performance. It really is. Film has incredible suspense, charisma, and energy, and it was written by Billy Bob Thornton. That is true. It's a great, great, great film.
Totally.
So 100% I agree. And in terms of news and things that we haven't gotten to that yet, but we can, I'll rifle through this because this show's long. But first of all, so Criterion announced that their partner label, which is Janus, or is it Janus? Janus, they have a new, so they're going to start releasing brand new movies as part of this new label. And one of those is EO, the movie about the donkey.
The monkey.
So that's coming out, and they're releasing The Innocent, which was nominated for 11 Césars, whatever that is. And then a film from an Iranian director called No
It is
Bears.
the French Oscar, Rob, I believe.
Did it win the French Oscar?
And then you said for Caesars.
Yeah, it was up for
Caesars.
Caesars, but it won Supporting Actress and Best Screenplay.
Yeah.
So, and then No Bears. I know what people are thinking. This is not about West Hollywood, apparently. But just kidding. It is. No, I'm just kidding. It's not. But it's an Iranian filmmaker who's been banned to make movies in Iran. So that's cool. Then we have a 4K of Batman Mask of the Phantasm coming out, which is, first of all, what a great copy of that.
Yeah.
Let me just scoot you over, Dietz, so you can.
Here I am.
There you are, rock you like a hurricane. So that's coming out, and then of course, inevitably, and I'll have to buy it, even though I hated it.
Yeah.
Fast X is coming out, but I have to have all of them, don't I? So that's coming out. We know The Exorcist is coming out. Scream 3 coming out in 4K. Pretty cool. And this, one of the great heist movies from the mid-'60s. Oh, wait, did I cut that off? I didn't mean to. How about that? Tokapi. Or Topakai. Topakai. I don't even know how to pronounce this. I've never known how to pronounce it. Topakai. Tokapi? Tokapi? Tokapi. I want to say I've always called it Tokapi. I don't. I'll know when it. But it's a great heist movie from the '60s. Mission Impossible paid homage to it, as you can see. The first Mission Impossible did. That's coming out again from Kino Lorber. Thank you, Kino Lorber, for doing that. One of the things I also forgot to mention about Arrow is they're putting out the Desperate Hours, the original Desperate Hours, not the Mickey Rourke version, but the Humphrey Bogart version. So they're putting that out too. Kino Lorber to go right there next to Needful Things. Cujo. Not 4K, though,
Ooh.
which I thought was interesting. Just a Blu-ray of Cujo, not
Yeah.
4K, probably because no one remastered it, but that's not their fault. Studio Canal putting out Alejandro Amenabar's The Others in 4K. What a great movie. Cool cover. Really good movie.
Yeah.
Very excited to get that. Black Sabbath, again, coming out. Mario Bava's Black Sabbath coming out from Kino Lorber. Not in 4K, but a good release. Good release. A new 4K steelbook of Friday the 13th. Kill her, Mommy. Kill her. Don't let her get away, Mommy. I don't know about this artwork with the eyeball, but you do get the original one sheet on the you get the one sheet on the steelbook. So hey, if you're a Friday fan, and I know a lot of you are, hey, why not? There you go. Dude, look at this. Sentai Filmworks is putting out a box set of Battle of the Planets, a.k.a. Gatchaman, with an Alex Ross cover. I'll buy this just because. I hope they have subtitled versions in there because who doesn't want this? And then, of course, American Graffiti coming out. George Lucas's American Graffiti in 4K. Definitely want to buy this. Hopefully it's got Dolby Vision because that'll help with the blacks and all that. And so that's very exciting. And now our last release that I wanted to bring to your attention is something coming out from Germany. It is a release that it might very well be one of the most important releases of the year.
Yeah.
Coming out as a German-only title. And it's limited. There's 4 different versions, each limited to 500, playable worldwide. And this, I just want to say, Dieter, you got to get me one of these because this could be
Okay, we
the
talked
most
a little bit
important.
about before the show, but you keep me in suspense, Rob, because I have no idea what you will show.
This film is one of the most important creations of Hollywood cinema. It's one of John Campia's guilty pleasures. It stars the great actor, musician, Vanilla Ice. It's, of course, Cool as Ice. And look at this from Germany. You've got a two disc padded media book. You got a 2-disc media book. You got a 2-disc digipack, and Deech, you got to get me this, the 12-inch 4-disc edition of Cool as Ice. You really don't have to get me this, but I would just love to own it just to say I have it. But there it is, coming from I don't know which company.
I have to check, Rob.
But I'd like to get the 12-inch.
Looks a little bit like Play On. I think it's Turbine, Rob.
Well, it might be. I mean, hey, there's only going to make 2,000 total.
Because I remember getting the email about it.
Well, there you go. I mean, I know how much our audience wants to have Cool as Ice in their collection, and now they can. And I know, Dieter, that you, in particular, are going to run and not walk to get Cool as Ice and add it to your collection.
Oh, yeah.
So there is all the news that's fit to print, although we have to go through sales figures.
Yeah.
Let's do that. And by the way, Media Play News, I'm stealing them right from Media Play News now, so everybody knows.
From the correct source.
Yeah, from the correct source, and I'm not sure even which. So I don't remember if this must be the top sellers. So we've got Super Mario Brothers, John Wick 2, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Last of Us: The Complete Season, Scream 6, Kandahar,
The
Sisu,
Gerard Butler movie.
Book Club: The Next Chapter, Love Again, and Knights of the Zodiac. That's total. That's total bestsellers. Yeah. Now we have. Now let me take you to the top selling Blu-ray discs: John Wick Chapter 4, Super Mario Brothers, The Last of Us: The Complete First Season, Avatar: The Way of Water, Scream 6, Sisu, Kandahar, the One Piece film, Red Heat, Dungeons & Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, which I really like. Elizabeth and I watched that on our 4K disc, and it's really, really good. I enjoyed it. And finally, the top 20 4K selling Blu-ray discs, of which you're only going to get the top 10. The Last of Us, the complete first season, at the top of that list.
Nice.
Really cool. John Wick Chapter 4, Scream 6, Heat, Super Mario Brothers the movie, Avatar: The Way of Water, Sisu, Hugo, the new Hugo from Arrow in 4K.
Arrow.
I need to get that because I have the 3D version. I love that movie. Alita: Battle Angel, again at the top of the charts. Wow, they must have re-released it. And the Dark Knight trilogy, basking in a little bit of that Nolan backwash from Oppenheimer. So that's cool too.
Perhaps, Rob, considering Alita Battle Angel, considering the news that we might get sequels, perhaps it helped to push the sales again?
Could be. There you go.
That was a snapshot. That was just a snapshot.
So there's the news, dude. There is the news.
Nice. What do we have left, Rob? Some super chats? The live chat?
The live chat, I don't think, no. Super chats were caught up. Super chats and tips are caught up, yes. Oh, no. No. There's more. Guy Newbie says, do you think we'll ever get both Trons on 4K? I need them. I would hope so. Honestly, I would really hope so. I'd love to get Tron in 4K. That would be amazing. Both of them would be barn burners of discs if we get them in 4K. We probably will, but who knows what Disney's going to do. Super chats, get that. 200 Watt Studio says, get that Vanilla Ice film. Don't be a zero. Well, 200 Watt Studio, I just told Leader I need it. So there you go. Secular Monk says, films that need a 4K release, Twister, which we're probably going to get because of Twister 2. Fight Club is coming out. And 7's coming out. I don't know about Fight Club. Barry Lyndon, Eyes Wide Shut, and Dogma. I'd love to get all those in 4K. I'd love to have all of them. Maybe not so much Twister, but certainly Fight Club and 7. And Tom Jr. Jackson.
Come on.
Tom Jr. Jackson, I have Hugo in 4K before Rob. Hey, man, what can I say? I can't get everything.
No, but we already have it in 3D. Which way would you want to watch, Rob? You know.
I know. I mean, Hugo, you got.
But the 3D is actually in the set too, so that's.
I know. I gotta get it. I'll get it. Just, I can't. There's life. Life finds a way. Life finds a way.
Physical media finds a way to us. Reaches.
Yeah. All right, dude. So you want the live chat, baby? You know you want it. All right.
Yeah. Rob is taking a nap, and I'm taking over with the live chat. So previously on Let's Get Physical Media, because it was 2 weeks ago, there are a lot of statements about Mission Impossible 7, that reckoning. Undead Sick starts here with, has everyone heard, because of House of the Dragon is a production in Britain, and because the cast and crew are mostly British or Irish, season 2 is still in production and filming. Okay. Slice Night, I just got the 4K steelbooks of Sisu, Scream 6, and the Indiana Jones movies. Nice. Gone Vidal, to live and die in LA in 4K is a myth. They are just doing it to fuck with R&B. Luckily, this is not the case anymore since he got it. A question that we get often, mostly when it comes to multi-region, but Cello Slapper wants to know, where's the best way to get a Region B Blu-ray player? Any help? Just browse Amazon, the usual online retailers. For Blu-ray players, you certainly will find someone for your price range. And would like to purchase as a Blu-ray player, or buy a gaming console, but I would say gaming console is not your typical standard Blu-ray player to use. Considering Mission Impossible 7, Catherine was here, Slice Night, the train sequence looked very fake to me, like CG or green screen. Maybe it was a cinematography issue, but a step down visually from its predecessors. Adventure Square. Tom Cruise makes good stunt movies with the Mission Impossible series. They are top-tier productions for movie lovers. Exactly. And Mission Impossible had that little bit earlier start, considering the box office. Victor Fontaine, was it really 5 day? Really? There were showings on Monday and Tuesday too. I saw it on Monday. Yeah, they were a little bit strange considering the release time of the movie. It was I believe Tuesday here in the UK. They're already started to show the movie on Monday, I believe. Gordon Waddell, MI7 was great stunts, but a poor story. Fallout and Rogue Nation were better. Siggy, Barbie will have strong opening, then die quickly. Well, Siggy, you're wrong. It didn't die. And I totally forgot, considering the box office, of course, Rob's projection, considering the box office was...
Oh, yeah.
Mine would be way too low. Rob said globally 140, considering Barbie, and I think it was 300, around 300, Rob,
Yeah.
or even a little bit more. And Oppenheimer 100, Rob said globally, and was, I think, 170 or 80, considering the box office. So, Siggy, no, Barbie is not dying down at the moment. David Rose, Rob, you were great on the CW, considering the documentary about 1982. Rob, do you know anything? Will we get a Blu-ray of it at some point?
Yeah, they're supposedly going to make a Blu-ray of it. By the way, the last episode aired today.
Today, nice.
Yeah.
Would be nice to get a Blu-ray, because not everyone can watch it internationally.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they do. To be honest.
Yeah, that would be nice. Victor Fontaine, totally agree with you. MI7, awesome action, not so good story. If Fallout was the best of the franchise at a 10, Dead Reckoning would be a 7. Exactly. Gordon Waddell, I totally agree. I watched Rogue Nation and Fallout back to back last night, and Fallout is definitely the best. Bill Barkley, Rogue Nation and Fallout were basically parts 1 and 2. Adventure Square, or Matt Heidi winner, that second Mission Impossible is unique cause of Woo, and probably why I like it and why it's set apart so much for other folks. Gordon Waddell, the trailers for Dead Reckoning gave away too much of the big stunts. Lord Toth, John Woo was a master. Was Lord Toth?
He still is.
Still is. Okay. Slice Night. MI7 had a ridiculous amount of plot armor compared to prior installments that keep taking me out of it. Major tonal shift midway to being too serious. Tom and Haley had great chemistry till then. 3.5 out of 5. My friend Tim Hens, MI2 is the weakest out of them all. It is widely recognized as the weakest of the...
That's because people don't give it a chance. If you like John Woo, it's not the weakest.
Exactly, Rob. Exactly. Bill Barkley, guys, what's the upcoming movie that stay and date? As far as I think about it, it's probably Five Nights at Freddy's with George Hutcherson. That's probably the movie that he will mean with it, because I think it will get a theatrical release and a day and date on Peacock, if that's what he means. Kondo wants to know, what does Rob mean about Hard Target French Blu-ray? Rob, what does the French Hard Target Blu-ray entail?
The French Hard Target Blu-ray has... So obviously, when Hard Target was made, it was John Woo's first American movie. When the studio looked at it, when Universal looked at it, they didn't understand all the John Woo-isms. The slow motion, the doves flying... You know, when Lance Henriksen walks out and his cape, his jacket flows up behind him in slow motion. So what they did was they cut all the John Woo-isms out of the movie. But there was a director's cut, Woo's preferred version, floating around. And I believe it's the French disc that has that director's cut on it as a special feature.
Easter egg.
Yeah, as an Easter egg.
Yeah.
And it's really too bad that they've never gone back, because Woo's version is, I think it's way better. I like Hard Target, it's fine, but it's a standard. When you hire John Woo to make a John Woo movie, let him make a John Woo movie. And John Woo really got fucked in America, if I do say so myself, because he was basically kicked out of the edit bay on Broken Arrow, you know, and
I love Broken Arrow.
It's fun, but it's not as woo. It doesn't have as much woo. If you're gonna get I want some woo woo. If you're gonna hire John Woo, give me the woo woo. If I don't get the woo woo, it's not a John Woo movie. So I mean, yeah, we have. How do you not? You've got everything from Bullet in the Head to Better Tomorrow to God of Gamblers to, of course,
Hard-Boiled.
The Killer and Hard Boiled. You've got Redcliffe, which he left. He went back to America. He went back to China, where he's respected. But you know, the you want the woo woo, watch Face Off. Face Off is the real woo woo, and that was by far his best movie in America. But again, like so many other foreign directors, I honestly think that when foreign directors like the guy Jose, I think I want to say Padilla, but it's not that. The guy who made the Elite Force movies. It's like those movies are kick ass. Both of those movies kick ass. And then he comes to America and they give him RoboCop to make. And it's like, I get it. He's coming to Hollywood to make a movie, but it's almost like when Hollywood hires these dudes, they hire these really accomplished directors from these foreign lands and give them movies that no Americans want to direct. So, of course, and I just hate that. It's like, and they don't know. The people that hire these guys, they haven't even sat down and watched these movies. I'm convinced when because look what happened in Hard Boiled, what the Universal executives did. They're like, oh, how cool, we hired John Woo. Have you ever watched a John Woo movie? Then why'd you hire him? I mean, Americans, we're a lazy bunch. I'm sorry, we are. Not everybody, but especially in Hollywood. Hollywood is the laziest. I mean, now when I say this, at the executive ranks, the agents, the creative executives, all the people that are the gatekeepers are a lazy bunch of folks. They don't do the work because there's so much they have to wade through a bunch of crap. But then, I'm sorry, I'm just going off. Never mind, it doesn't matter. But the answer is the work print of Hard Target is on the French Blu-ray.
French Blu-ray. There you go. And we love our John Woo. Because Gordon Waddell said, I love Broken Arrow, my favorite Travolta film. God damn, what a rush. Exactly. Don Ranger Power. I myself thought the rockin' score is what I love best about Mission Impossible 2. And I bet at least Mission Impossible 2 had pigeons in the movie.
Yeah.
It should. Bill Barclay, why do they call it an entity? It's basically AI bought by Elon Musk. Gordon Waddell, I like MI2. MI3 is the weakest for me. Jar Jar Abrams, ooh. Okay. Drew 914, I love Rogue Nation. Reese Mack, with great technology comes great responsibility. Gordon Waddell, my question on MI7, who is Gabriel? Where did he come from? What does the AI work for with him? That's probably a question that Rob has too for the movie. Albion, enjoyed it, but I saw Top Gun Maverick numerous times last year. I probably won't return to this for at least a couple of years. Victor Fontaine, yeah, when they introduced the entity with all the exposition as a sentient AI, I just rolled my eyes and thought, this again. Miguelito, the entity was already transmitted itself off the submarine. That was something I somehow missed. Ridwan Askarali, do you think Ilsa is alive? I hope not. Not one of this more fake death stuff. That would really be not thrilling for me at all. Slice Night, yeah, the rock promontory which replaced the ramp looked so CG, ruined the immersion of the stunt. Albion, when he arrived on the train through the window at exact second, that was too far-fetched. RJ Skorenki, Mission Impossible 2 kicks ass, and that's the bottom line. Saw it in theaters and had a blast. John Woo rocks. Exactly. Mr. Gonzal watched like myself. I saw God is a Bullet. Cool movie. That I was thinking too. Slice Night, Evil Dead Rise had great atmosphere, but not scary at all. So a bit boring. Science Lady, does anybody play Elden Ring? I tried it last week. I love playing all the games from ESO, but I don't get a lot of time to play money games. Well, Science Lady, considering Elden Ring, it's probably isn't that the movie that I bought, which is with the very hard difficulty to get through. So I'm probably a little bit hesitant myself to even try it. Mr. Gonzal, if I remember correctly, wants to know, where do I buy that movie? Safe word. So as far as I know, Mr. Gonzal, it's only out in Germany at the moment. Unfortunately, no English subtitles, and it says on the back it's region B, but no English subtitles. So, but keep your eye open. It probably will get released at some point anywhere else too. Winter Soldier. Oh my God, I have seen Safe Word. And what else, Winter Soldier? Let me know what you thought about it. Avenger Square, Blood and Gold makes a great pair with Sisu and Mr. Gonzalez. Sisu is awesome. Exactly, Avenger Square, a great double. And Slice that said, Sisu was photographically the best looking film I've seen this year. Reese Mack, there's a YouTube video called I Made Cynthia Rothrock Watch Her Worst Movie So Bad It's Good. He speaks of Undefeatable, where she sits with two guys and watches a bad action movie she was in the 80s. Reese Mack, I have that in my watch list, but I haven't seen it. The Legolas, Oppenheimer will earn more worldwide on first weekend probably than Barbie. Well, it didn't. Legolas. It didn't. PM Ferreira, Quantum of Solace was the worst Bond movie. Not sure what they were thinking. Let's make a great sequel to Casino Royale. That was what they were thinking. Do something 34. People use the term billion too much in movie talk. Everything doesn't have to hit that high bar to be a success. Exactly. Dr. Fauci's prison butt. Why is there no 4K of The Sound of Music? I've heard they've had an 8K scan for years. Rob, do you have any?
Yeah, because it's owned by Fox, aka Disney, and they have no commitment to putting out 4K discs, which is sad.
Yeah. Pat Finch asks me, have you seen German Genius, a satire on the German film industry, and features Ricky Gervais? And I love the series. It's only 8 episodes. Unfortunately, Pat Finch, I have not seen those series. Hey. Retro Nerd Girl. I am starting to rebuild my physical media again. Nice.
Good for you.
Gordon Vedel. Hey, R&B. The membership was a gift from Science Lady. Thank you. Science Lady, thank you for
Thank you, Science Lady.
Membership. Albion, Quantum of Solace problem was Casino Royale. Bar too high. Tim Hens, Quantum of Solace really is not that good. Just a born copycat. Slice Night. King Richard was a snooze fest. Hey. Enrique Cabada. Friedkin was difficult to work with. Kino was difficult to work with, which Kino cancelled bug because of it. So we can be grateful to at least get 4K of To Live and Die in LA. Okay. We will do work with. Okay. The Legolas. For Oppenheimer, my fellow countrymen are nuts. We have 4 a.m. showing in IMAX, and it's booked like 70%. Admiral, it's mainly the shaky cam stuff in Quantum of Solace I hate. After No Time to Die, I learned to love Quantum of Solace. There you go. It was nice to go back. Slice Light, I like Mark Kermit's reviews. Even when I disagree with Kermit, I still appreciate his takes. Okay. The Alex Sorba, multi-region players are standard equipment. Yes, they are. Rogo multi-region players are a must-have. Bill Barkley, I bet Dieter hasn't watched Bird Box Barcelona because it does have some German speaking in it. Bill Barkley, I have not seen Bird Box Barcelona because I was not a fan even of the first one. Rob, have you seen Bird Box Barcelona?
No, but it looks cool.
No.
I haven't seen it yet. I kind of like the original Bird Box, and I read the book, so I'm curious.
Nice. Paul Allen Brunotto, I picked up a Panasonic UB820K 4K region free Blu-ray player and loving it. Nice, Paul. Nice to know. Tim Hens, have the Target poster on my bedroom wall and unfolded, as it should be. Tim. Bill Barclay, I hear that both the UK and German 80s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were called Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, with both having the nunchucks cut out of the cartoon series. Well, the UK had really strict guidelines considering those kind of weapons, and perhaps the German took over the UK version here. Gordon Waddell, I finally got a German media book of The Car by Koch. Looks amazing, and it is a 3-disc set with tons of extras. Glad you make the nice purchase. Thomas Bartoldi, speaking of that painting that someone did drop from both of us, and we had those great white field on the left side. Thomas Bartoldi says they are battling streaming app monsters And Podracer Palpatine said they're chasing a cat in the bag. BA says it's an speaking of putting a baby in a microwave with a Flash movie, it's an unnecessary and unpleasant image that makes people think of actual crimes. Okay, and the man says, "I like microwaved children." Thomas Bertoldi, reading the live chat sounds fun. It is for me, Thomas, not for Rob, but he has to go through it. Stubble McShave, Rob says it's water, but it's actually 10 jars of straight vodka each day.
I wish, but it is not.
I admit I stay with my childhood memories with Heidi, where she wasn't mad. But mad, she's even better. She's even better. Rob Tugger says, thanks, guys. Yes, you guys have pulled me in. I got Casablanca today. And the last one, Rob, which always is good for me too, because I know that I've gotten through the live chat and put out all the screenshots from the memes. Auf Wiedersehen, everyone, and until next time. This was the last one. I'm through with the live chat.
Well, that's good. I love that. By the way, Danzig has been a member for 4 months. I want to thank him for that.
Yeah.
So I guess, sir, that brings us to actually Thomas Logan says, Volume 2, Rob, what film do you screen for Shaddam IV, Christopher Walken? Yes, your entire 4K library, 4K player were transported into Dune Part 2 along with you. Well, there's only one movie I would show him at the time, and that would be Christopher Walken starring in King of New York. Abel Ferrara's King of New York in 4K. That's what I would show the Emperor, the Padishah Emperor of Shaddam IV.
And he would say, I know this guy.
I wonder if he'd recognize it, but that's what I would show him. The 4K, which I already have, the short 4K of King of New York. So that's it, buddy.
Okay. One last thing, Rob. One movie I saw, because I mentioned the Finnish movie, The Knocking, the Argentina movie, Rise of the Demons, aka Legions. I saw this movie from Slovakia, Rob. Finally, I watched Night Siren.
Ooh.
Great little folklore horror, about witches. Really nicely done, Rob. This has, like you always said, authorship. This movie has authorship.
Night Siren, is that a domestic disc?
No, this is a German one, Rob, which comes, of course, unfortunately, without any English subtitles.
God
but really,
damn it.
A nice recommendation for me. Night
And it's from Czechoslovakia?
Siren. Yeah, from the Slovakia. Nice.
Wow, man.
Nice movie. And a cool cat in the back, Rob. Cool cat in the back that.
On Rotten Tomatoes, it's got like 5 stars, but only 10 votes. Folk horror can be as a tool to address aspects of urgent. Wow, this sounds really good.
Yeah, Night Siren.
There is
little last recommendation from
there's a trailer out, and
don't watch any trailers. Come on, stay away from it.
I'm just saying. I mean, if people want to know.
Yeah, I know.
Don't shoot the messenger, bro.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks good.
But
I'm
I don't
looking
know
at all these reviews.
Yeah.
I'll watch that.
Night Siren. Make a mental note about it.
I'm mentally noting. Night Siren.
Night Siren. Okay.
Yeah. All right. I guess that's the end of us.
The end of us. So, I have to say, jede Person, die du triffst, hat eine Geschichte zu erzählen, die du noch zu hören hast. Alles, was du tun musst, ist zuhören.
Every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear. Hopefully it's in 4K. All you have to do is listen. And with that, we say thank you, first of all, to Tom Jr. Jackson and Mr. Toner for being moderators. I don't know if Lord Toth is here in the chat today.
Yeah, he is.
Lord Toth, thank you. I appreciate that for your moderating skills. Brian Hepburn is moderating as well. So thank you for that. I want to say my appreciation to everybody who's a member of the channel. There will be a member chat next week. And I want to thank everybody who generally supports this through super chats and tips. Thank you very much. And hopefully next week we'll bring you even more good news and more stuff of what we've bought. And you'll still ask yourself, why did you buy that, Dieter?
Yeah. Before I forget, Rob, next week I have to work night shift.
Oh, you
So
do? Okay, the night shift.
Yeah.
Well, okay, maybe I'll do the show. Maybe
Perhaps
I'll have
Rob
a guest.
can make, yeah. Perhaps Rob can do a solo with Bill, or perhaps with George. So you will get your Let's Get Physical Media hopefully next Sunday.
I'll ask
I
George. I'll
unfortunately
ask George
have,
if he can come on.
yeah. I unfortunately have night shift next week Sunday. So unfortunately, I can, because people, you shouldn't forget, I have a normal, not a normal work schedule, and between Rob and myself there are 9 hours time difference already. So this is actually almost a sweet spot. 11 a.m. for Rob, 8 o'clock
So, is it
p.m.
almost 11 o'clock at night for you right now?
Yeah, exactly, Rob. It's
All right.
11 p.m. Yeah. So this is the sweet spot that we figured out we could work, but during the week it's almost impossible to do a show, because
Okay.
Rob wanted to do it Tuesday, but my work schedule then didn't was accommodating that we would have done it Tuesday. So Sunday is normally the day we can do it.
All right. Cool. I will then say goodbye to you, sir. And until next time, I guess I'll see you in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks
But we'll be
again.
back here next week, no matter what.
There we go.
All right, kids. You take care of yourself. And we are out.